Chapter 665. Get lost. Who wants to be friends with you? Don't disgust me. Hua Yin was holding back her anger. She felt disgusted when she saw Golden Spear's perverted eyes. Compared to the Immerse sex Iceberg Maiden and Bai Yunfei, Golden Spear was too arrogant. Even when White Cloud asked her personally, she didn't say much. This Golden Spear seemed to be eager for everyone to know that he was from Kunlun's sect. He even borrowed the power of Kunlun's sect to pick up girls. The few people present didn't think highly of Golden Spear. Big Sister Bo, don't be so cold. I am an inner disciple of Kunlun's sect. If you follow me, you will definitely not suffer. With Kunlun's sect backing you up, won't you be able to do whatever you want in the outside world? Sister, think about it carefully. Golden Spear didn't mind being scolded. He stared at Hua Yan's collar. Hua Yan couldn't take it anymore and slapped Golden Spear's chest. Qin Feng could tell that Hua Yan was a Stage 5 demon cultivator. The mission was to recruit Stage 6 enrich experts and above, but demon cultivators were different. Although Hua Yan was a Stage 5 demon cultivator, she was more powerful than a Stage 6 enrich expert. Qin Feng was shocked by Hua Yan's cultivation speed when he learned that she could sign up for this mission. Now it seemed that it wasn't the case. A Stage 5 demon cultivator was powerful in a big city, but here they were the lowest existence. Golden Spear's expression turned cold when he saw Hua Yan's attack. He slapped Hua Yan's chest without hesitation and unleashed his Stage 7 inner chi. Boom! A loud sound rang out, causing the ground to tremble. Rocks rolled down the cliff and Golden Spear retreated. He was stopped by his junior brother. Otherwise, Golden Spear would have been smashed to the bottom of the cliff. Of course, it wasn't Hua Yan who did it. It was Qin Feng. Are you okay? Qin Feng slapped Golden Spear away and held Hua Yan's waist with his other hand. This scene caused the expressions of White Cloud and the others to change slightly. They were probably shocked by Qin Feng's strength. Hua Yan was stunned. The last time she worked with Green Wolf to kill Taoist Rakshasa, Green Wolf was only a stage for Energy Master. She didn't expect him to become so powerful in just a month. Was he riding a rocket to level up? What are you doing? Who asked you to help me? Do I know you that well? After Hua Yan regained her senses, she angrily slapped Qin Feng's hand off her waist and stomped on his foot. Qin Feng gritted his teeth in pain and pretended to be calm. If there was no one else here, Qin Feng would definitely teach this girl a lesson. Brat, how dare you sneak attack me? Are you tired of living? Golden Spear failed to pick up a girl, and he was even slapped in the face in front of everyone. He was so angry that his eyes almost popped out. Although he wanted to kill Qin Feng, he didn't do anything. Qin Feng's palm was too powerful, and Golden Spear was still somewhat afraid of Qin Feng. If you can't beat me, then you can't beat me. Don't try to find an excuse to launch a sneak attack. If you're not satisfied, we can exchange palms again. You only know how to talk nonsense. Do you think you're a wild dog? Qin Feng glanced coldly at the Golden Spear. He really didn't take this trash seriously. Not long ago, Qin Feng caused the second martial arts disturbance in Devil Beast Mountain. At that time, China's 5 sects took action. Elder Zhu Qing of Kunlun's sect also came. But wasn't he beaten by Qin Feng until he covered his head and fled like a rat? The Golden Spear in front of him looked like a little disciple of Kunlun's sect. How could he have a nerve to shout at Qin Feng? What are you talking about, brat? Do you think I'm afraid of you? I'm an inner disciple of Kunlun's sect, one of the 5 sects of China. How dare you offend Kunlun's sect? You'll have to collect your own corpse. Golden Spear was still a little afraid of Qin Feng. He only dared to stand in the distance and bark. White Cloud and the others glanced at Golden Spear with disdain. White Cloud said, "Don't quarrel. We're here to do a mission. If you want to quarrel again, leave now." White Cloud's voice was loud and clear like a bell. A huge, imposing aura spread out, and Golden Spear couldn't breathe. Even Qin Feng felt some pressure. "Senior White Cloud, I'm not late, right? Yao Yao is here. Greetings to this friend." 2 voices came from the sky. It was a man and a woman. After a few breaths, 2 figures appeared at the top of Ghost Mountain's hanging cliff. The man wore a white robe that fluttered in the wind. He didn't wear a mask, nor did he cover his face. He had a fair and handsome face. His eyebrows were like swords, and he had an imposing appearance. His sideburns reached his shoulders and fluttered in the wind. He stood with his hands clasped behind his back. He looked like a profound swordsman from wuxia novels. Compared to Qin Feng's appearance and temperament, he was still a little lacking. The woman, on the other hand, was dressed in a red qipao. She was tall and sexy, and she wore a mask on her face. It was the mask of an avatar. 9 people had gathered at the top of the cliff. Only one person was left before everyone could explore together. I'm sorry to have kept you waiting. Just as they were waiting for the last person, she arrived. She was also a woman. She was dressed in black and didn't wear a mask. Her pretty face was covered with heavy makeup, and her every movement exuded a seductive charm. Golden Spear's eyes were glued to her. All right, now that everyone is here, I'll tell everyone about the things to take note of in the next exploration. Seeing that everyone was here, White Cloud walked to the center of the crowd. Everyone gathered around White Cloud. While listening to White Cloud's words, they secretly observed each other. This time, everyone was gathered together for the Ancient Warrior Ruins exploration mission. Everyone present was a Stage 6 Inner Chi expert, so naturally, they had to be wary of each other. I've investigated the ancient martial ruins in Ghost Mountain for a long time. It's a Grade 3 ancient martial ruins. There are many treasures in it, but it's also dangerous. According to my information, there's a formation at the entrance of the ancient martial ruins. We'll have to break the formation together to enter. After we enter the ancient martial ruins, don't act rashly. Listen to Chun Er Nyang's command. Does anyone have any objections? White Cloud's voice was loud and powerful. Everyone shook their heads. White Cloud nodded in satisfaction. He looked at the charming woman in black and said, "This is Chun Er Nyang. She's an expert in formations." Everyone listened to her command. Everyone's eyes fell on Chun Er Nyang. Other than Golden Spear, who was sizing up Chun Er Nyang's body, the rest of them were checking her strength. Qin Feng quickly found out that she was a Stage 7 Inner Chi expert. After explaining everything, White Cloud did not waste any more time. He led the group to Ghost Mountain. Only White Cloud knew the entrance to the ancient martial ruins. He had discovered the ancient martial ruins a long time ago. Initially, he wanted to explore the ruins alone so that all the treasures would belong to him. However, a Grade 3 ancient martial ruins was not that easy to break. Just breaking the formation at the entrance was difficult for White Cloud. It was impossible for him to break the formation on his own. This was why White Cloud posted a mission on the Martial Art Alliance and gathered Qin Feng and the others. Apparently, White Cloud was a frequent visitor to Ghost Mountain. He was very familiar with the terrain. The sky was now completely dark, and there were no street lights or illumination on Ghost Mountain. It was pitch black, but White Cloud's speed was not slow. After a while, he climbed over Ghost Mountain and arrived at a big mountain pass behind it. White Cloud suddenly stopped. He looked at the group behind him and said, "It's here. There's a formation at the entrance. Let's attack the eye of the formation together and try to break it." After White Cloud finished speaking, he looked up at the night sky. Dark clouds covered half of the moon. "All right, we'll start when the moon is covered by the dark clouds. Chun Er Nyang, you can start now." Chun Er Nyang was found by White Cloud. The others did not know what this woman was capable of. Everyone took a step back and looked at Chun Er Nyang squatting at the entrance of the cave. No one understood what she was doing. "Little Pig, what's this woman doing?" Qin Feng communicated with Little Pig telepathically. Qin Feng felt that what Chun Er Nyang was doing was somewhat familiar, but he could not remember what it was. "Master, she's trying to break the formation." "She's looking for the eye of the formation," Little Pig explained. "Why do I feel that these formations are somewhat familiar?" Qin Feng was puzzled. "Master, you obtained the 5 elemental formation from a mission not long ago. The 5 elemental formation contains the knowledge of setting up and breaking simple formations. That's why you feel that this formation is familiar. You're also familiar with Chun Er Nyang's method of breaking formations." After Little Pig's explanation, Qin Feng understood. Qin Feng searched through the memories of the 5 elements formation in his mind. Very quickly, This huge memory surfaced in Qin Fen's mind. When Qin Fen observed Chen Nyang's actions again, he knew that she was indeed looking for the formation eye of this formation. Chen Nyang was extremely busy, but everyone was confused by what they were doing. They saw Chen Nyang take out a bunch of strange things from her bag. There were formation flags, charcoal, talismans, and other tools that no one had seen before. Chen Nyang used charcoal to draw some strange patterns on the ground. Then, she placed some talismans in the center of the patterns and inserted a few chess pieces into the talismans. After a long time, the cold moonlight suddenly disappeared. It turned out that dark clouds had covered the moon and covered the entire moon. All right, I found two eye of the formation. Everyone, follow my instructions and attack the eye of the formation together. Don't hold back. We have to break the formation before the dark clouds disperse. Otherwise, the formation will automatically absorb the essence of heaven and earth to replenish its energy. At that time, it will be difficult to break the formation. Chen Nyang gave a few instructions. No one knew much about formations, but after hearing Chen Nyang's serious words, no one dared to hold back. If they couldn't break the formation before the dark clouds dispersed, then everyone would have come for nothing. Quick, attack the northeast and southwest eye of the formation. Chen Nyang suddenly shouted. Everyone had already gathered their qi and were waiting to explode. As soon as Chen Nyang's voice fell, the 9 of them unleashed all kinds of martial arts techniques and attacked the 2 eye of the formation like crazy. The weakest among them was a stage 6 inner chi expert. When everyone unleashed their full strength, their imposing manner was astonishing. The valley shook with a deafening rumble like thunder and lightning. Fireball, frost, sword chi, wind from the fist, saber light, palm print, and leg shadows, clanging sounds rang out from the entrance of the cave. Qin Fen had come here to look for treasures, mainly to find some missing materials for crafting the Starry Sky flying sword. Therefore, he did not hold back at all, as he sent out a wave of wind blades and destructive flames. Why isn't it broken yet? Will this method work or not? The 9 of them attacked for more than half an hour. Everyone's inner chi was depleted by half, but the formation was still not broken. That golden spear couldn't help but complain. Everyone, let's work harder. The eye of the formation is starting to loosen. We'll be able to break the formation soon. Chen Nyang shouted as she looked at the weakening formation. Chapter 666. Rumble. Rumble. The 9 of them worked together to attack for more than 10 minutes, and the invisible but perceptible 2 layers of barriers suddenly exploded. The formation at the entrance of the ancient martial arts relic was finally broken. Watch out, everyone! White Cloud roared. Before they could rejoice, the formation was broken. Rumble! Another thunderous sound reverberated in the air. The 2 broken formation eyes released a powerful airflow that sent the 9 of them flying. Ahem! Is everyone all right? Even White Cloud, who was the strongest among the 9 of them, fell to the ground and coughed violently. The rest of them could not speak for a while. Qin Feng was injured by the formation's counterforce and spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. Hua Yin was sent flying further than Qin Feng and almost fell off the cliff. Fortunately, Qin Feng pulled her back at the critical moment and saved her life. Qin Feng had no time to think. He swallowed a qi-consolidating pill when no one was paying attention to him. After calming the chaotic inner qi in his body, he went to Hua Yan's side and fed her a blood qi pill. Ah, you! What did you feed me? Hua Yan glared at Qin Feng angrily. She wanted to resist, but she could not. She could only let Qin Feng stuff the blood qi pill into her mouth. Qin Feng fed Hua Yan the blood qi pill instead of the more powerful qi consolidating pill because he was afraid that Hua Yan would suddenly break through after consuming the qi consolidating pill. If that happened, it would affect her ability to continue exploring the ancient martial arts relic. Anyway, it's good stuff. Others can't even snatch it away from you. Why are you so unwilling to eat it? Qin Feng curled his lips at Hua Yan. He could not understand why this girl was so hostile toward him all of a sudden. Qin Feng recalled that he had risked his life to save this girl in Hepping Town. Now that he thought about it, he felt that he had been blind. After feeding Hua Yin the blood chi pill, Qin Feng angrily ran to the side and continued to treat his injuries. The rest of them also sat cross-legged and began to heal their injuries. Is everyone all right? I didn't expect the formation to backfire. Among the 10 of them, only Qin Ernyang was unharmed. She had been in charge of commanding the team and did not attack, so she did not suffer from the formation's counterforce. Aren't you an expert in formations? Do you really not know that this formation will backfire? Or are you pretending not to know? It was unknown what kind of pill the iceberg maiden had just eaten, but her recovery was relatively fast. Her pale face had already slowly regained its rosy color. What do you mean? Chen Nyang was instantly enraged. She glared at the old Taoist nun from a Mei sect coldly. Don't you understand what I mean? I suspect that you purposely let us break the formation and purposely didn't tell us that the formation would backfire on us. When we are all injured and the formation is broken, won't all the treasures inside belong to you? The old Taoist nun from the Immerse sect was indeed experienced and knowledgeable. Her thinking was also very cautious. After she said this, everyone began to mutter in their hearts. Some of them actually had the same suspicions as the Iceberg Jade Maiden, and some of them suddenly came to a realization after hearing the Iceberg Jade Maiden's words. Qin Feng didn't say anything, but he knew what Chen Nyang was thinking. The old Taoist nun from the Immerse sect was right. There was definitely something wrong with Chen Nyang. Since Qin Feng had the 5 elements formation, he also knew that breaking the formation would usually backfire. However, Qin Feng didn't expect the backfire to be so strong, so he accidentally fell for it. Outsiders might not know about the backfire, but those who knew a little about formations would definitely know. Chen Nyang looked like she was well-versed in formations, so how could she not know about the backfire? I think what the Iceberg Maiden said makes sense. Hua Yin spoke up for the old Taoist nun from a Mei sect. This girl was still lacking in social experience. Everyone had their suspicions, but no one said anything. So, Hua Yin stupidly said what she thought. Chen Nyang was someone White Cloud found. If there was something wrong with this woman, then wouldn't there be something wrong with White Cloud as well? On the surface, White Cloud seemed to be the strongest among the 10 of them. If that was really the case, then White Cloud would definitely kill Hua Yin first. Who asked this girl to be the weakest among them? How dare she talk nonsense? Billowy lady, don't talk nonsense if you don't understand the situation. I believe Chen Nyang isn't that kind of person. Qin Feng also followed up. He had to say something, or else Hua Yin might be in some danger. You make it sound like you know a lot. Why don't you let others speak? I don't think you have any good intentions. Contrary to Qin Feng's expectations, the woman wearing the avatar mask continued to speak as soon as he finished speaking. She angrily rebuked Qin Feng, as if Qin Feng owed her 5 million yuan. Qin Feng bought a talisman of clairvoyance from the system and looked directly at Yao Yao. That avatar mask seemed to be nothing, and a delicate and absolutely beautiful face was reflected in Qin Feng's eyes. Qin Feng jumped in fright. Fuck, so it's the little witch from the sacred medic hall. Qin Feng exclaimed in his heart. The woman called Yao Yao was actually Ren Xiao Yao. Now Qin Feng could understand why she was targeting him. Not long ago, Qin Feng bumped into her chest. How could she not be angry? After Qin Feng looked at Xiao Yao, he looked at the other masked people. Sure enough, Golden Spear was a disgusting man with a wretched face. Qin Feng felt like vomiting just by looking at him for a second longer. Under White Cloud's mask was a dignified face that had experienced the vicissitudes of life. He should be more than 60 years old, but he was full of vigor, white hair, and a youthful face. Everyone, don't quarrel. I'm also injured, right? Don't tell me you guys suspect that I'm scheming something? White Cloud, have a little reputation in the martial art alliance. I want to do something like this. White Cloud's aged voice sounded, and everyone shut up. Qin Feng could see through White Cloud's mask. White Cloud looked a little doubtful and vigilant. It seemed that he really didn't know that the formation would backfire. The few of them recuperated at the entrance of the cave for more than 10 minutes and recovered most of their strength. White Cloud was the first to stand up. He looked at the crowd and said, "Everyone, follow me in. I've told you before what to take note of. Don't walk around or touch anything after you enter. Follow Chun Ernyang. The incident of the formation backfire had come to an end. Although they didn't say it out loud, they already had their own suspicions. However, they still followed White Cloud into the cave of the ancient martial relic. Since they were already here, they still yearned for the treasures in the cave. Chun Ernyang took a compass and some strange tools and walked in front. White Cloud was the second, and the rest followed one by one. Qin Feng and Hua Yin walked at the back. Stop! Chun Ernyang's voice suddenly came from the front, and the line stopped immediately. Chun Ernyang threw two small flags. As soon as the flags landed on the ground, there was a clanging sound in the tunnel of the cave. The light in the cave was very dim. There were only two walls that were inlaid with strange glowing stones. The people at the back of the line couldn't see what was happening in front of them. However, when they heard the violent clanging sound, everyone's heart tightened. There were many treasures in the ancient martial relics. According to the scale of the ruins, they were divided into 9 grades. The ancient martial ruins that Qin Feng and the others had come to explore were grade 3, while the most powerful ruins were grade 9. A third-class remnant was neither too high nor too low. The treasures inside would not be particularly heaven-defying. However, to low-level martial artists, they would still be envious. Although the ruins were very popular and would attract a large number of explorers, however, there were all sorts of hidden weapons and offensive formations in an ordinary ancient martial relic. It could be said to be extremely dangerous. Some of the more powerful ancient ruins had always been entered by people, but no one ever came out. Therefore, even though the members of Qin Feng's exploration team were all Stage 6 Inner Chi experts, they were on tenterhooks as they walked in the cave cautiously. Bang, 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 bang. The loud noise lasted for several minutes before it slowly died down. Although Qin Feng was standing at the back, he could clearly see the situation in front. Chun Ernyang discovered a few offensive arrays and used array flags and some props to break them. After the arrays were activated, the attacks and hidden weapons were shot out. There were thorns that suddenly emerged from the ground and boulders that fell from above. These attacks were disorderly and densely scattered. If Qin Feng and the others accidentally fell into the traps, even a Stage 7 Inner Chi expert would have a slim chance of survival. Phew, don't be nervous. Chun Ernyang discovered some traps and mechanisms just now. Now that the danger has been resolved, let's continue to follow. Remember, follow the footprints of the person in front. Don't walk around or touch anything. There are traps everywhere in this ancient martial relic. Bai Yun's aged voice was heard. He purposely lowered his voice and wasn't as loud and forceful as before. He was probably afraid that he would accidentally trigger some traps if he was too loud. Even an expert whose strength Qin Feng couldn't see through was so cautious in the cave of an ancient martial relic. It could be seen that exploring an ancient martial relic wasn't as simple as it seemed. Everyone's anxious hearts were slightly relieved. The golden spear didn't aim at the old Taoist nun's buttocks. Instead, it nervously followed the team. The exploration team continued to move forward. From time to time, Chun Ernyang would ask everyone to stop. Then, they would hear the traps in the cave being destroyed and a flurry of arrows and fireballs flying around. This gave everyone a lingering fear. There were many traps along the way, but because of Chun Ernyang's presence, everyone was safe and sound. Many people initially suspected Chun Ernyang and Bai Yun, but now, they slowly changed their minds. If these two really had selfish motives, they would have fallen into the traps long ago. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to come this far unscathed. The ancient martial relic in Ghost Mountain was huge. After walking for more than 20 minutes, they still couldn't see the end of the cave. There were countless traps and mechanisms along the way. After walking for an unknown amount of time, some light suddenly appeared in front of them. It turned out that they had walked into an empty hall. Wow, where is this? Have we found the treasure? This should be the place where the treasure is stored in the ancient martial relic. Everyone walked into the hall inside the cave. It was a circular open space that was more than 200 square meters. The walls around the circular hall were inlaid with stones the size of eggs. These stones emitted a pale blue light and seemed to be emitting spirit energy. The spirit energy density in the entire hall was many times denser than outside. This box is so exquisite. There must be something good in it. The junior disciple of the Golden Spear suddenly ran toward a big box in the corner. His face was filled with excitement. The others also looked over. The junior disciple of the Golden Spear ran to the side of the box and reached out to open it. Whoosh! Pfft. The sound of wind and skin being pierced rang out at the same time. A poisonous arrow shot out from the box. It was so fast that Qin Feng only saw a flash of white light. The Stage 6 Inner Chi disciple was hit in the chest. The poisonous arrow pierced through his heart, and black blood flowed from the arrowhead. A Stage 6 Inner Chi martial artist didn't even have the time to scream before he died. Hiss! Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. The air in the cave was about to freeze. Chapter 667. Everyone stared blankly for a while before regaining their senses. Not long ago, the joy of discovering the hidden treasure hall had dissipated. How could this hall be a place to hide treasures? It was simply a place of traps. Second junior brother? Wake up, ah? Are you all right? Golden Spear shot forward and arrived at his junior martial brother's side. He used his hand to check his junior martial brother's breathing. Don't touch that arrow, it's poisoned. Chen Ernyang's voice suddenly sounded. Golden Spear, who was about to pull out the arrow from his junior brother's body, immediately stopped and leaped far away from his junior brother. With a frightened expression, he patted his chest and shouted, "Fuck! Why didn't you say so earlier? You almost caused me to be poisoned as well." Golden Spear's reaction caused everyone to be taken aback. China's 3 sects and 5 sects were rumored to be very united. Entering a sect was like a family. Now that Golden Spear's junior brother was dead, this kid didn't feel sad at all and even showed an expression of despising his junior brother for being poisoned. Beauty, you have broken a lot of formations and traps. You should be able to see through the hidden traps in this hall, right? After Golden Spear regained his senses, he moved closer to Chen Ernyang's side and looked restlessly at her body. I know a little, but I can't guarantee that I can see through all the traps here. Just now, when your junior brother opened the chest, I also couldn't see through it. Chen Ernyang saw Golden Spear's wretched expression, but she didn't care. While speaking, she seemed to throw a few coquettish glances at Golden Spear. Ah, beauty is really modest. We have to thank you for taking care of us along the way. I am an inner disciple of Kunlun's sect Beauty. For the rest of the journey, let's be partners. Golden Spear's second junior brother had just died, and his body was still warm. Yet, Golden Spear turned around and started to pick up girls. All right, I'm just a weak girl. I only know a few formations, and my strength isn't high. Since Brother Golden Spear is willing to protect me, of course I am happy. Chen Ernyang wore heavy makeup and looked very flirtatious. She didn't look down on Golden Spear's wretched appearance and actually started to flirt with him. Cough, cough. Chen Ernyang, let's put other matters aside first. Our team has already lost one member. Quickly break all the traps and formations in the hall so that we can find the treasures and quickly leave. White Cloud couldn't stand it anymore and brought the topic back to business. Chen Ernyang nodded and winked at White Cloud again. This woman must be suffocating, right? They ate both young and old. Everyone stay where you are and don't move. I'll take a look. Chen Ernyang took out a handful of flags and talismans and began to slowly move them along the corner of the round hall. Every few steps she took, she would stop and observe. From time to time, she would throw out a few flags and draw some ancient patterns on the ground. There were quite a lot of traps in the hall. Chen Ernyang had been fiddling with them for more than half an hour and had already broken more than 10 traps. Everyone stood in place, not daring to move. Those traps were like a flood or a fierce beast, and the person who created them was too powerful. Even the martial artists who were above Stage 6 Inner Chi were afraid of them. Cat girl, come and help me. Chen Ernyang suddenly stopped and waved at Hua Yin, who was the closest to her. Hua Yin didn't think much and walked over. How can I help you? This mechanism requires 2 people to work together to remove it. Stand on the pattern I drew first. Later, I'll ask you to stick the flag on the ground. Then you can move. Chen Ernyang gave a few simple instructions and then threw 2 array flags to Hua Yin. Hua Yin held the formation flags and stood at the designated position. Before she was ready, Chen Ernyang suddenly shouted, "Stick the formation flags." "Ah? Now? Oh! Ah! There's a hidden weapon." Before Hua Yin could react, Chen Ernyang had already inserted the array flag into the pattern on the ground. Suddenly, the stone wall beside Hua Yin started to move. In an instant, a large hole appeared and a dense number of small pebbles shot out from the hole. The speed of the pebbles was even faster than bullets. If these pebbles hit a person, even a 5th-layer devil cultivator like Hua Yin would be turned into a beehive. "Be careful," White Cloud growled. He wanted to help, but it was too late. The rest of the people were also stunned. This unforeseen event happened too quickly. The stone's attack was too ferocious. These martial art masters were actually helpless. Bang! 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 The pebbles hit Hua Yan's body, and the sound of metal colliding resounded. A silhouette appeared in front of Hua Yin. Qin Feng's back was facing the entrance of the cave, and he allowed the pebbles to rain down on him. He pulled Hua Yin into his embrace, and like a towering mountain, he shielded Hua Yin from the rain of bullets. Green Wolf. Hua Yan's beautiful eyes widened, and she looked at Green Wolf in astonishment. The ice in her heart melted, and a warm current rippled through her. Chen Ernyang quickly sealed the cave entrance. White Cloud was the first to recover. He was stunned by Qin Feng's strength. Green Wolf was unharmed under such a powerful attack. Was his body made of iron? Chen Ernyang also came back to her senses, and a cold light flashed in her eyes. She hurriedly threw out an array flag, and the array flag landed on the pattern under Qin Feng's feet. The hole that suddenly appeared instantly disappeared, and the rain of stones also stopped. As soon as the attack landed, Qin Feng spat out a mouthful of blood. Protected by the sacred azure battle armor, the pebbles wouldn't penetrate his body, but the pebbles still hit Qin Feng's back and caused him serious internal injuries. "Green Wolf, are you okay?" Hua Yin was no longer as cold as before. She couldn't remember how many times Green Wolf had saved her life tonight. Hua Yin hurriedly took out a blood chi pill and stuffed it into Qin Feng's mouth. "Quickly eat it." Qin Feng was going to take a chi fortification pill from the system, but Hua Yin forced a blood chi pill into his mouth, so he had to eat it. "Green Wolf, are you okay?" White Cloud and the others surrounded Qin Feng, and they were all dumbfounded. How did this guy survive? He must be wearing a spirit-grade battle armor, right? Rumble! A loud sound rang out. Before everyone could completely calm down from the incident with Qin Feng, someone in the crowd cried out in alarm. "Everyone, save me! Abbess Miju, grab my hand!" This time, it was the old Taoist nun from the Immerse sect who was attacked. For some reason, the ground beneath her feet suddenly split open, forming a huge sinkhole. The old Taoist nun didn't even have time to react before she fell into the sinkhole. The disciples she brought with her wanted to save her, but they also fell into the sinkhole. The sinkhole was still expanding, and the rest of the people ran to safety. Qin Feng was seriously injured and couldn't move, so Hua Yin stayed by Qin Feng's side and didn't want to leave. Seeing that the sinkhole was expanding to Qin Feng and Hua Yan's feet, the two of them were anxious. "Come here!" The white-clothed young man who didn't speak much along the way suddenly roared. He leaped to Qin Feng and Hua Yan's side and pulled Qin Feng with one hand. As soon as Qin Feng was pulled up, Hua Yin lost her footing and fell into the sinkhole. Qin Feng quickly grabbed Hua Yan's hand. Now, Hua Yin was suspended in the air, and Qin Feng was grabbed by the white-clothed young man. The sinkhole was still expanding, and the ground under Qin Feng's feet was about to crack. "Brother, let go of me, or else we'll all fall." Seeing that he was about to fall into the sinkhole, Qin Feng hurriedly shouted at the white-clothed young man. The white-clothed young man didn't know Qin Feng, but Qin Feng was very grateful that he was willing to save him at such a critical moment. "Brother, since I've already helped, there's no such thing as giving up. At most, we'll fall together, and we might not die." The white-clothed young man forced a smile. At this time, The ground under Qin Feng's feet completely cracked, and he fell into the sinkhole. The white-clothed young man stepped on the edge of the sinkhole and held on to Qin Feng's arm tightly. "I'll help too." Ren Xiaoyao couldn't bear to watch any longer. Although she hated Green Wolf, that pervert, she wouldn't watch him die. Moreover, that Catwoman was innocent. "I'll help too." As soon as Ren Xiaoyao moved, White Cloud also made a move. The two of them leaped up and threw two long ropes in the air. Qin Feng quickly grabbed the ropes and pulled with a trace of inner chi, flying out of the sinkhole with Hua Yin. Phew! The few of them landed on the ground far away and let out long breaths of turbid air. It was too dangerous just now. If Ren Xiaoyao and White Cloud had acted a little later, the white-clothed young man would have fallen into the sinkhole, and Qin Feng and the other two would have disappeared. Rumble! Another loud noise was heard, and everyone's hearts were in their throats again. However, it wasn't some other mechanism that was triggered this time. It should be Chun Ernyang breaking the formation of the sinkhole. The big hole on the ground began to heal rapidly, and eventually it disappeared. This ancient martial relic is too dangerous. Hua Yin patted her chest with lingering fear. Golden Spear swallowed his saliva when he saw her breasts. "Big-breasted beauty, are you all right? You scare me to death just now. I was going to save you, but I didn't expect White Cloud and the others to be one step ahead of me. Do you want me to massage your shoulders to relax?" Golden Spear didn't forget about Hua Yin even after flirting with Qin Ernyang, because Hua Yin's figure was too perfect. Hua Yin glared at Golden Spear coldly. She didn't believe Golden Spear's nonsense. Golden Spear was so scared that he hid far away and had no intention of saving her. "Get lost. I don't need comfort." Hua Yin didn't want to be polite with a man like Golden Spear and shouted. Golden Spear's face darkened. He pointed at Hua Yin and scolded, "You stinking whore, stop pretending to be pure. I'm an inner disciple of Kunlun sect. It's your fortune that I like you. If you dare to yell at me again, I'll kill you." Hua Yin had just suffered some injuries, and she was so angry that she wanted to cry. Qin Feng suppressed the chaotic inner chi in his body and slapped Golden Spear with his palm. "You're courting death." Golden Spear's reaction was extremely fast. As soon as Qin Feng's palm arrived, he threw a punch. Bang! Another loud noise was heard in the cave. Golden Spear was knocked back a few steps, and his face turned pale. Qin Feng was in a worse state. He directly hit the stone wall and vomited blood. Green Wolf! Hua Yin was so touched that she almost died. She quickly ran to Qin Feng and hugged him. She took out a blood chi pill and forced it into Qin Feng's mouth. Qin Feng was very resistant. "Ahem, I'm fine." Qin Feng simply comforted Hua Yin and began to treat his injuries. "Hi, you cheap wretch. I'll take your life while you're down. How dare you steal my woman? I'll make you regret it." Golden Spear dared to fight with Qin Feng because he saw that Qin Feng was seriously injured by the stone. Golden Spear was sinister and cunning. He leaped and slapped Qin Feng. "Brother, we're all in a team. Why are you so ruthless?" Before Golden Spear's palm could touch Qin Feng, the white-clothed man who saved Qin Feng suddenly appeared. He lightly waved his long sleeve, and a turbulent airflow whizzed by, deftly dispelling Golden Spear's attack. Chapter 668. Are you sure you want to stop me? I am an inner disciple of Kunlun sect. Do you want to go against Kunlun sect? Golden Spear hesitated for a long time before he finally brought out Kunlun sect to suppress the white-robed youth. Everyone had heard this phrase too many times. Golden Spear had been repeating it for an entire day. The white-clothed youth's expression didn't change as he indifferently said, "I don't oppose anyone or any power. I just can't watch you kill your companion." "All right, everyone stop. I'm not dead yet. If anyone dares to start an internal strife, I'll personally cripple him." Bai Yun's cold voice floated over. It was obvious that he was somewhat angry. Bai Yun was the organizer and leader of this expedition. They had just entered the cave of the ancient martial ruins, yet one person had died and two people had gone missing. Bai Yun's emotions were very complicated at the moment. What should we do next? Rin Xiao Yao asked White Cloud. White Cloud hesitated for a moment and looked at Chun Ernyang. There are no treasures in this hall, and there are too many traps. Have you found any other formation cores nearby? We can't stay here for long. Chun Ernyang nodded and pointed at the rock wall directly opposite the entrance of the hall. She said, I've studied this circular hall carefully just now. There should be an entrance hidden in that rock wall. The entrance is also covered with a formation, and it's even more powerful than the one we broke when we first came in. Everyone fell into deep thought after listening to Chun Ernyang's words. No one knew what they were thinking about. After a while, White Cloud said, now that things have come to this, it's up to everyone to decide what to do next. Those who want to stay can come with me to break the array. Those who don't want to look for treasures can leave at any time. White Cloud's words struck a chord in everyone's hearts. They were all silent as they pondered over this question. Along the way, no one had discovered any treasures. In the end, the path was filled with traps and mechanisms. Now one person had died, and 2 people were missing. The formation in front of them was stronger than the one at the entrance, which meant that they would have to consume more than half of their inner chi to break the formation. It would be fine if they could really find the treasure after breaking the formation, but what if there was nothing behind the formation door? At that time, everyone would be in their weakest state. If another trap appeared, how many of them would be able to escape? This series of questions flashed through everyone's mind. Everyone was analyzing the pros and cons, making their final decision. Senior Baiyin, I will definitely stay. We've already come this far. It would be a pity to leave now. Chun Ernyang was the first to speak. She agreed readily. Since the beauty is staying, then I must also stay. Otherwise, who will take care of the beauty's safety? Golden Spear laughed as he walked to Chun Ernyang's side and reached out to touch her slender waist. Okay, then you have to protect me. Chun Ernyang didn't resist being hugged by Golden Spear. Instead, she acted coquettishly in his arms. Hua Yin and Rin Xiao Yao were about to vomit when they saw this scene. Billowy lady and I will stay behind as well. Qin Feng rested for a while, and his body slowly recovered. However, he still pretended to be heavily injured and weak. Qin Feng had saved Hua Yin several times, and Hua Yin was no longer angry at him. Qin Feng made the decision for Hua Yin, and Hua Yin nodded without any objections. Then I'll stay too. He had been a man of few words ever since he joined the expedition team. So many people had almost forgotten about him. Then let's hurry up and find the formation core. Let's find the treasure and leave this terrifying place as soon as possible. Everyone decided to stay. Rin Xiao Yao naturally couldn't go back alone. Actually, everyone had their concerns. Without Chun Ernyang on the way back, what if they stepped on a trap? Okay, then it'll be the same as before. I'll command, and everyone is responsible for attacking the formation. Everyone stayed behind. Chun Ernyang didn't waste any time. She took out some strange tools and went to the wall to study. After more than 20 minutes, Chun Ernyang's eyes lit up. She shouted excitedly, I found the formation core. There are a total of 3 of them. Everyone attack according to my instructions. The 6 of them split into 3 groups. White Cloud was the strongest, so he was in one group. Golden Spear and Rin Xiao Yao were in another group. Because Qin Feng was heavily injured, he, Hua Yin, and the white-clothed youth were in another group. The 3 groups began to attack according to Chun Ernyang's instructions. An earth-shattering aura surged, and a series of clanking sounds rang out. Although White Cloud was attacking one formation core by himself, the formation core on his side was the loudest. This showed that his strength was absolutely unfathomable. Rin Xiao Yao and Golden Spear were not weak either. Both of them were stage 7 inner chi experts. Rin Xiao Yao even took out a delicate flexible sword from her waist. She swung the flexible sword lightly as if she was dancing, but the sharp sword chi she released was not to be underestimated. Qin Feng was completely relying on the white-clothed youth and Hua Yan's attacks. Actually, Qin Feng's injuries were mostly healed. However, he pretended to be heavily injured and couldn't circulate his qi. Therefore, his attacks were weak and couldn't even match the strength of a stage 4 inner chi expert. The 6 of them continuously attacked the air, looking like idiots. However, Only those who attacked could feel that there was an invisible barrier in front of the wall. 10 minutes had passed. Half an hour had passed. Everyone was more or less injured, and their strength was reduced by 1 level. Now that they had gone through a marathon of attacks, many of them couldn't take it anymore. Why isn't the formation broken yet? I can't hold on any longer. Hua Yin was the first to land in the formation. She was the weakest among the 6. This formation is much stronger than the one outside. Otherwise, there wouldn't be 3 formation cores. Everyone hold on for a little longer. The formation core is showing signs of loosening. Chen Nyang had nothing to say since she didn't need to attack anyway. She just stood there and commanded everyone. Knowing that the formation core was loosening, they had no choice but to continue attacking. They couldn't give up halfway, could they? After a long time, they could feel the energy of the formation core was getting weaker and weaker. It was as if they could break it if they held on for a little longer. However, after a few hours of continuous attacks, they had exhausted all of their inner chi. Even White Cloud's attacks were visibly weakened. Rumble! Suddenly, a loud noise reverberated in the air. However, it wasn't the sound of the formation being broken. The sinkhole that had appeared before appeared again and was rapidly expanding. Before everyone could react, Ren Xiao Yao and the golden spear had already fallen into it. Ah! Save me! Save me! Golden Spear was scared to death. He screamed as if someone had died in his home. Everyone present didn't have a good impression of Golden Spear. No one went to save him. Moreover, everyone was within the range of the sinkhole. It was difficult for them to protect themselves, let alone save others. Slap! To everyone's surprise, Chen Nyang suddenly took out a long whip from her waist. The long whip wrapped around Golden Spear and pulled him up. Oh no! Chen Nyang, quickly think of a way to close the sinkhole. White Cloud was the second to fall. He had exhausted too much inner chi, so he had no way to escape when he fell into the sinkhole. At this time, Chen Nyang had already pulled Golden Spear to her side. She had the ability to whip White Cloud or Ren Xiao Yao up a second time. However, Chen Nyang crossed her arms and looked at the scene in front of her with a playful expression. It was as if she couldn't wait for everyone to fall into the sinkhole. Qin Feng and the other 2 hadn't fallen yet, but they were already standing at the edge of the sinkhole. The situation was very dangerous. Green Wolf, what should we do? Hua Yin looked at Qin Feng anxiously. There's something wrong with that woman. Brother Green Wolf, I'll go and capture her first. The white shirt man frowned and flew toward Chen Nyang. Halfway through, Qin Feng and Hua Yin fell into the sinkhole. The white shirt man looked back anxiously. In the end, he chose to give up attacking Chen Nyang and turn around to pull Qin Feng and Hua Yin. Brother Green Wolf, grab me. The white shirt man's expression suddenly changed when he reached out his hand. He felt Qin Feng pulling his arm forcefully into the sinkhole. When Qin Feng attacked the eye of the formation, he looked like he was seriously injured. However, his inner chi was so strong that the white shirt man didn't even have the strength to resist. The white shirt man fell together with Qin Feng and Hua Yin. It was a bottomless pitch-black abyss. No one knew where they would fall to. Qin Feng held Hua Yin with one hand and the white shirt man's arm with the other. After falling for a while, Qin Feng said to the white shirt man, "Brother, don't worry. I'm not trying to harm you. I brought you down to make sure there's no danger down there. You're right. There's something wrong with Chen Nyang. If we continue to stay up there, we'll definitely die in her hands." Qin Feng had been pretending to be injured ever since he was attacked by the stone because he knew that there was something wrong with Chen Nyang. Qin Feng also knew about formations now. He knew that the sinkhole was Chen Nyang's doing. Chen Nyang even asked Hua Yin for help. She wanted to kill Hua Yin. Qin Feng had been wary of Chen Nyang, so he saved Hua Yin at that time. What? There's really something wrong with that woman? How dare she set us up? The white shirt man was enraged when he heard Qin Feng's words. Qin Feng didn't explain further. The 3 of them were still falling, so Qin Feng didn't have time to explain. Billowy lady, release the ice to slow down our speed of descent. Qin Feng had bought the Talisman of Clairvoyance and the Night Vision Talisman, so he could clearly see the situation at the bottom of the sinkhole. The sinkhole was very deep, and there was a flat ground at the bottom. There was also underground water at the side. Hua Yin immediately understood Qin Feng's intention. She hurriedly circulated her demonic qi and struck several palms. Hua Yin was a demonic cultivator of the ice attribute. When her palms landed, ice pillars pierced into the hard rock wall. Qin Feng and the other two hurriedly grabbed the ice pillars. Although the ice was hard, it was still torn apart by the force of their rapid descent. However, the speed of their descent was also slowing down. Hua Yin continued to strike with her palms. Qin Feng and the other two repeatedly used the ice pillars to slow down their descent. By the time they landed on the ground of the sinkhole, their speed of descent had become very slow. Phew! The three of them landed safely. Hua Yin and the white-shirt man heaved a long sigh of relief. Qin Feng's strength had almost recovered. He was looking around for the situation. "Who's in front? Tell me your name." A man's cold voice came from not far away. Then a series of footsteps rushed toward them. Before Hua Yin and the white-shirt man could catch their breath, someone appeared. They were so anxious that they quickly stood up. Qin Feng had already stood in front of them. The bottom of the sinkhole was completely dark, and they could not see the path at all. However, Qin Feng had the night vision talisman, so he could see things as if it was daytime. "Big brother, there are two men and a woman in front. The woman's body is so fucking hot. Big brother, we've made a fortune." Soon, the three men came to Qin Feng's side. Each of them had a miner's lamp on their head. It seemed like they came prepared. There was another man walking slowly behind them. He should be the big brother of the three men. "Who are you?" The big brother was dressed in black. He was tall and burly. The miner's lamp on his head was aimed at Qin Feng and the other two. The strong light was so bright that Hua Yin and the white-shirt man could not open their eyes. "People who have come to search for treasures? Who are you?" Qin Feng ignored the strong light of the miner's lamp and said indifferently. Chapter 669. We're all from the Flame sect. Since you're here to look for treasures, hand over all your treasures and leave the girl behind, and I'll let you go." The burly man yelled at Qin Feng. He did not take Qin Feng and the other two seriously at all. Hua Yin and the white-shirt young man lacked inner qi due to the attack formation, so they only had the strength of Stage 2 inner qi. Qin Feng's sacred azure battle armor concealed his inner qi, so he looked like an ordinary person. "You're here to look for treasures too? I thought only the three of us discovered this ancient martial relic. How did you guys find it?" Qin Feng looked at the man curiously. This ancient martial relic is no longer a secret. Not long ago, someone released a message saying that there's a Tier 3 ancient martial relic here, and clearly pointed out its location. Now many martial artists are rushing over. I'm considered to be late." The burly man looked at Qin Feng proudly. His words stunned Qin Feng and the other two. According to Bai Yun, this ancient martial relic was secretly discovered by him. In order to prevent the ancient martial relic from being exposed, Bai Yun posted a group mission on the Martial Art Alliance and limited the number of people to 10. Now that the relic had been leaked, they did not know who leaked it. "Brat, don't just stand there. Hand over all your treasures and get lost with that pretty boy." The burly man was getting impatient. They came to the ancient martial relic to look for treasures. Now that many people had entered, it was a race against time to grab treasures. "We'll want to waste time." Hua Yin and the white-shirt young man were ready to fight. Although they had not recovered their inner qi, they would not give up without a fight. "We didn't find any treasures along the way. Did you guys find something?" Qin Feng secretly waved his hand behind his back. Hua Yin and the white-shirt young man understood Qin Feng's meaning and did not move for now. "Brat, don't play dumb in front of me. We came late and found some treasures along the way. Obviously, the three of you came early, and you said you didn't find any treasures?" The burly man's expression suddenly turned fierce. He released his Stage 5 inner qi and said proudly, "I'll give you one last reminder. Either leave the treasures behind or stay here forever." Qin Feng was getting more and more confused. How did these people find treasures? How did they get down? If they also triggered the mechanism of the sinkhole and fell down, with their meager strength, why didn't they fall to their deaths? Questions swirled in Qin Feng's mind, but he wasn't in a hurry to act. I can give you the treasure, but you have to keep your word. Once you get the treasure, you have to let us live. Qin Feng waved his hand, and a sword shining with orange light appeared in his hand. The surroundings were pitch black, and the orange light treasured sword shone brightly, causing the four men's eyes to turn green. This is the Wudong Qin Feng sword. One of the lackeys cried out in surprise. The muscular man also recognized the treasured sword in Qin Feng's hand. It really was one of the 6 treasured swords of Wu Dang, the Azure Sharp Sword. Huh, this Qin Feng sword is good, I like it. I've been out in the martial arts world for so long, but I haven't even gotten a white grade spiritual weapon. Today, I've gotten an orange grade treasured sword. Heaven's will. This is the fucking heaven's will. The burly man's eyes were fixed on the azure-tipped sword, and his eyeballs almost popped out of their sockets. He leaped and tried to snatch the azure-tipped sword from Qin Feng's hand, but Qin Feng nimbly dodged to the side. Fucking hell, what are you trying to do, you stinking brat? Hurry up and hand over the treasured sword. Otherwise, I'll kill you in minutes. The burly man clenched his teeth in anger as he missed the sword. Qin Feng said with a calm expression, "Don't be anxious, big brother. I'll give you the sword. Before I give it to you, you have to tell me how you came down here. Also, where did you guys see the treasure? I have to find some other treasures to get out of here. I can't just return empty-handed, right?" After the flame's sex, burly man saw the azure-tipped sword. He was so excited that his brain could not think straight. He said casually, "The formation at the cave entrance of this ancient martial relic was broken by someone, so we came in directly. However, halfway through, the ground suddenly split open, and the 4 of us fell down. Luckily, we fell into the freshwater lake at the side, so we were safe and sound. Then, we walked along the lakeside to search for treasures, and we found some treasures." Qin Feng understood everything now. It seemed like the 4 people in front of him were lucky that they did not die after falling into the lake. Moreover, they found treasures in this underground cave. It seemed like the real treasures of this ancient martial relic were hidden in this sinkhole. It was a blessing in disguise for Qin Feng and the 2 of them to fall down. "Brett, I've been talking so much nonsense with you for a long time. Hurry up and hand over the treasured sword. Leave the woman behind and scram." The brawny man had really lost his patience, and he roared at Qin Feng. A smile appeared on Qin Feng's face as he said, "The sword is right here. If you want it, come and get it yourself. How dare you trick me? You're courting death." The burly man's expression was ferocious. He roared and swung his fist at Qin Feng's face. In the burly man's eyes, Qin Feng was a dabbler who had not even condensed his inner chi. He could easily kill this kind of person with a single punch. "Green Wolf, watch out!" Hua Yin and the white-shirted young man cried out in surprise. Before they could finish their words, a sword chime was heard in the air. Buzz! Qin Feng raised his wrist slightly. The azure-tipped sword rose and fell. It looked like an ordinary sword strike that even a child could swing. The speed of the strike was not fast either. It was like the taiji, sort of an old man doing morning exercises. It was this ordinary sword strike that caused the burly man from the Flame sect to be filled with fear. His fist stopped in front of the tip of Qin Feng's nose. "Big brother? Well, what's wrong with you?" The 3 underlings were confused. Why did the big brother stop in the middle of the fight? He couldn't have fallen asleep, right? "Big brother, say something." One of the underlings could not wait any longer. He pushed the big brother lightly, and a crisp sound came from the burly man's body. Poochie! Bang, bang, bang. Dozens of cuts appeared on the burly man's body. The cuts quickly expanded, and his entire body exploded. Flesh and blood fell to the ground. The underling who pushed the big brother was so shocked that he sat on the ground. His pants were wet. The other 2 underlings were still in a daze. They felt like they were dreaming. "Ghost devil, run! This guy is too scary." The 2 little brothers who were standing there came back to their senses, turned around, and ran away. Qin Feng raised his hand slightly, and 2 rays of sword chi shot out. 2 screams were heard, and the 2 underlings fell into a pool of blood before they could run more than 5 meters. The underling who was scared out of his wits saw this scene and fainted. Hua Yin and the white-shirted young man were shocked by Qin Feng's strength. Hua Yin quickly asked, "Green Wolf, you're not hurt." "I'm hurt, but I've been healing while you guys were attacking the formation. I'm 80% healed now." Qin Feng did not hide anything from Hua Yin and the white-shirted young man. The white-shirted young man had saved him several times, so Qin Feng had a good impression of him. "Oh, by the way, what's your name?" Qin Feng asked the white-shirted young man. "Wen Yiming." "Brother Wen, I'm Green Wolf, and this is my friend, Billowy Lady. How about the 3 of us form a team and continue exploring?" Qin Feng said. "Okay, let's go together." Wen Yiming nodded without thinking too much. Hua Yin was speechless. She felt awkward when she heard Qin Feng call Wen Yiming Brother Wen. It felt like he was calling her bra. Hua Yin subconsciously touched her bra. Qin Feng was the one who called Wen Yiming Brother Wen. Qin Feng and the other 2 formed a team and continued exploring. Qin Feng searched the bodies of the 4 people he killed and found 3 black cloth bags. Inside the cloth bags were some treasures. There were low-ranked medicinal pills, low-ranked cultivation techniques, martial techniques, and some spirit stones and precious herbs. "Brother Wen, I'm here to find some materials for refining equipment. These spiritual stones are useful to me, so I'll take them. As for the other spiritual equipment, martial skills, and pills, you and Billowy Lady can share them." Qin Feng poured the contents of the 3 bags together and picked out the 5 spirit stones from the bags. Wen Yiming and Hua Yin were not interested in the spiritual stones. Hua Yin was here to find precious herbs and spiritual herbs. As an alchemist, she was most interested in these things. Wen Yiming wanted to find some spiritual equipment and martial skills, so it was suitable for the 3 of them to stay together. None of them had to fight over each other's things. Soon, the 3 of them divided the treasures of the Flame Sect's disciples. Qin Feng threw the spiritual stones into the system and prepared to continue searching for treasures. This underground cave is very dark. Take the miner's lamp with you. I've practiced night vision since I was young, so I don't need it. As Qin Feng spoke, Hua Yin and Wen Yiming put the miner's lanterns on their heads. Now, they could see their surroundings clearly. The 3 of them rested for a while, and then walked up along the freshwater lake. Since the 4 people from the Flame Sect came up from the bottom, it was obvious that they had already looted all the treasures there. The 3 of them walked and stopped from time to time. They found many good things. There seemed to be no traps in this underground cave. Qin Feng and the 2 of them walked for a long time and did not encounter any strange attacks. They did not have to worry about the distribution of the treasures. Everyone took what they needed, and there was no conflict between them. Qin Feng had collected 20 spiritual stones and found a few pieces of black rock sand and amethyst. These things were useless to others, but they were essential materials for Qin Feng to forge the cosmic flying sword. Wow, that's the purple creeping vine flower. I didn't expect this kind of sacred flower to grow on the rock wall. I found a treasure. Hua Yin suddenly shouted excitedly. She reached out to pluck a strange purple and black flower on the rock wall. Qin Feng looked at the rock wall and suddenly realized that there was a hidden mechanism under the purple creeping vine flower. As long as the purple creeping vine flower was plucked, the mechanism would automatically activate. "No," Qin Feng growled, but he was too late. Hua Yin had already lost her mind when she saw the purple creeping vine flower, one of the sacred flowers of demonic cultivators. She plucked the purple creeping vine flower. "Brother Wen, retreat quickly." Since the flower was plucked, Qin Feng could only take precautions. He shouted at Wen Yiming and leaped to Hua Yan's side. Although Qin Feng saw through the hidden mechanism under the purple creeping vine flower, he could not see what the mechanism was. What would appear? Rumble! Rumble! A loud sound came from the rock wall. It felt like an earthquake, and the entire underground cave was shaking. Suddenly, 2 cracks appeared on the hard rock wall, and it started to spin. It was actually a hidden cave door. The door turned and opened. It was pitch black inside, and nothing could be seen. An invisible suction force came from the black hole and sucked Qin Feng and Hua Yin in. Brother Green Wolf. Just as Qin Feng and Hua Yin entered the black hole, the cave door immediately closed. The two of them only heard Wen Yiming's shouts and then fell into silence. Chapter 670. Green Wolf? Are you there? Hua Yin's nervous voice came from the darkness. Bookweb. Whoosh! Qin Feng waved his hand, and several fireballs flew out. The fireballs landed on the surrounding rock walls and hovered in the air. The blazing flames lit up the surroundings. I'm here. Don't be afraid. Qin Feng grabbed Hua Yin's lily-white hand. Hua Yin's nervous heart suddenly calmed down. What is this place? Why is there a door on the rock wall? Hua Yin opened her beautiful eyes and looked around curiously. This was an enclosed space surrounded by rock walls. The space was very small, only about 10 square meters. Qin Feng and Hua Yin sat in the middle of the secret room and didn't dare to move. The purple wisteria flower that you pulled out earlier triggered a mechanism, and we were sucked in. Don't move. Let me see if there are any hidden mechanisms in this secret room. Qin Feng pressed Hua Yin's shoulder and asked her to stay where she was. Hua Yin felt guilty when she found out that she caused them to fall into this enclosed dark space. Qin Feng didn't blame Hua Yin because he couldn't blame her. If Hua Yin knew that there was a mechanism under the purple wisteria flower, she definitely wouldn't have touched it. Crack! Qin Feng was already squatting in a corner. He didn't know what he touched, but a crisp sound was heard. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Instantly, several poisonous arrows flew out from the rock wall, giving Hua Yin a fright. However, Qin Feng was prepared. He purposely triggered the mechanism. He jumped and dodged the poisonous arrows. Then, he shot several fireballs and destroyed the formation that shot the poisonous arrows. Green Wolf, be careful. Hua Yin was still scared when she saw that Qin Feng was fine. Qin Feng smiled at Hua Yin and told her not to worry. With the 5 Elements Formation Manual, the mechanisms and formations in the ancient martial arts relic were not a problem for Qin Feng. He just needed to study them carefully, and he could destroy all the mechanisms in the secret room. Phew, it should be safe in here. After destroying the last mechanism, Qin Feng sat on the ground. These mechanisms were fierce and dangerous. Qin Feng felt as if he had just walked through the gates of hell. Green Wolf, are you all right? Hearing that the mechanism was broken, Hua Yin quickly ran over and touched Qin Feng's body to see if he was injured. Qin Feng was so hot that he was sweating profusely. He had already taken off his shirt. When Hua Yin's jade-like hands touched his skin, it felt as smooth as jade. It also carried a trace of coldness, which made Qin Feng a little excited. Suddenly, Hua Yin let out a strange cry, startling Qin Feng. Billowy lady, what are you doing? I didn't do anything. Hua Yin stared at Qin Feng with her big, watery eyes. Her eyes were in a trance, and the light in them was slowly fading. At the same time, Hua Yin's hand unknowingly reached into Qin Feng's pants. Qin Feng jumped in fright. Billowy lady, what are you doing? Are you testing me? I'm a very upright person. Qin Feng pretended to look at Hua Yin. Hua Yin's skin was pink, and Qin Feng had the urge to pounce on her. Big brother Green Wolf, don't run away. Quick, hug me. Hua Yin's voice was full of seduction. Qin Feng was dumbfounded. Looking at Hua Yin, he suddenly thought of Qiao Shishir, Lu Bingbing, and Su Qiuyu. One time, these women suddenly became very active and charming. At that time, Qin Feng thought they were testing him, but reality told Qin Feng that was not the case. Billowy lady, let go of me. Hua Yin, don't bite my chest. Qin Feng kept yelling at Hua Yin, but he did not move to stop her. Qin Feng even called out Hua Yin's name, but Hua Yin was still indifferent. She hugged Qin Feng and refused to let go. Hua Yin ate the blood qi pill that Qin Feng fed her not long ago, and the immortal herb's effect had taken effect. Hua Yin added the immortal herb when she was refining the blood qi pill to trick Qin Feng. She did not expect that she would be tricked as well. Qin Feng enjoyed the rest of the time. He believed that a charming man was a blessing in the bedroom. Even if you always maintained a chaste heart, beautiful women would still offer themselves to you. Qin Feng felt that he was a charming man, and he was proud of himself. Hua Yin was like a wild beast, and she wanted to swallow Qin Feng alive. Qin Feng had always thought that Hua Yin was a quiet woman, and when she vented, she would be like a torrential river. Today, Qin Feng had a deep understanding of this fact. Half an hour later, Hua Yin collapsed in Qin Feng's arms. Her pretty face was so red that it looked like it was going to drip water. "Ah, you! What did you do to me?" Hua Yin regained her consciousness after the effect of the immortal herb had worn off. She retreated in fear when she saw herself and Green Wolf naked. Qin Feng did not panic at all. He had a faint smile on his face as he looked at the shocked Hua Yin. What a familiar reaction. What a similar routine. When Qin Feng flirted with Su Qiuyu and Lu Bingbing, both of them had the same reaction. Qin Feng was puzzled. Why are they still acting when they have already done it? It seems like women are still shy. You beast. I've misjudged you. How can you still smile after doing such a thing to me? I'll kill you. Hua Yin did not expect that Qing Lang would violate her. She finally understood why Qing Lang had saved her several times. It turned out that he wanted her body. Bang! Hua Yan's palm struck the ground where Qin Feng was sitting. Qin Feng dodged the attack and stood aside. He stared at Hua Yin in astonishment. Hua Yin, are you serious? Are you going to kill your husband? Killing you is a light punishment. How dare you violate me? I'll tear you into pieces. Hua Yin raised her hand and was about to strike a second time. However, her jade-like palm spun in the air and froze. Hua Yin's beautiful eyes shone. She stared at Green Wolf in shock and said, what did you just call me? You know me? Qin Feng and Hua Yin looked very strange. Both of them had taken off their clothes. One of them was wearing a wolf mask, and the other was wearing a cat mask. It was a funny sight. Qin Feng realized that he had let the cat out of the bag, so he decided not to hide it anymore. He returned to his original appearance and said, Hua Yin, I'm Qin Feng. The corner of Hua Yin's mouth twitched violently. She felt like she was dreaming as she stared at Qin Feng's naked body. Hua Yin's eyes glinted as she recalled that she had planted the love goo in Qin Feng's body. If Qin Feng or Hua Yin were to fall in love with another person, the love goo would devour their bodies and they would die. Hua Yin had lost her virginity, but she was not devoured by the worm. It seemed like Green Wolf was really Qin Feng. Of course, Hua Yin was still unaware that Qin Feng had forced the love worm out of his body. Otherwise, she would have died of anger. After learning that Qin Feng was Green Wolf and Green Wolf was Qin Feng, Hua Yin was depressed to death. She finally understood that it was Qin Feng who had saved her in Hepping Town. It seemed like she had wronged Green Wolf. Yin, do you want to do it again? Qin Feng's unscrupulous gaze fell on Hua Yin's body. Only then did Hua Yin come to her senses. She was still naked. You're so annoying. Close your eyes. Hua Yin quickly picked up her clothes from the ground and put them on quickly. Qin Feng saw that there was no hope for a second time, so he began to put on his clothes slowly. Are you a man or not? Why are you so wishy-washy like a woman? Can't you hurry up and put on your clothes? Hua Yin complained when she saw Qin Feng's slow movements. What's wrong with me putting on my clothes slowly? Can't you just stop peeking? Qin Feng said indifferently. Hua Yin felt quite awkward. She had indeed been peeking at Qin Feng because she had never studied a man's body before. She was quite curious, but her thoughts had been discovered. Hua Yin was so embarrassed that she wanted to dig a hole in the ground and hide. Qin Feng, why you're shameless? How dare you force me? Hua Yin didn't know what to say and started to blame Qin Feng. Qin Feng was speechless. I force you? You're the one who forced me, okay? You were the one who took off my clothes. My neck is red because of you. Look at yourself. How can I force you to do something like this? Qin Feng pointed at his neck. Hua Yin looked at it and found that he really sucked a few strawberries. Hua Yin's body trembled, as if she suddenly thought of something. Ah! Qin Feng, the blood chi pills you gave me were the ones I refined for you, right? Seeing Hua Yan's shocked expression, Qin Feng curled his lips and said, Yes. Ah! Hua Yin screamed crazily. When she was refining the blood qi pills, she never thought that she would make trouble for herself. Hua Yin, are you crazy? Didn't you scream enough? Qin Feng covered his ears. This girl's dolphin voice was too shrill. How could you give me that batch of blood qi pills? Aw! Hua Yin couldn't stop screaming as if she had eaten stride gum. Qin Feng felt that something was wrong. He stared at Hua Yin and asked, "Is there something wrong with that batch of blood qi pills? Girl, are you hiding something from me?" Meeting Qin Feng's questioning gaze, Hua Yin immediately stopped screaming. If Qin Feng knew that the blood qi pills were laced with angel grass, would he lose his temper on the spot? Ah, what are you talking about? How could there be a problem? There must be no problem. I'm a third-grade alchemist. Hua Yin laughed guiltily. Qin Feng curled his lips and said, "Then why are you so surprised? Are you having a seizure? I am touched by your selflessness. The blood qi pills are second-grade miraculous pills. I didn't expect that you would give them to me. Qin Feng, I'm so touched." Hua Yin was furious, but she pretended to be touched. She suddenly threw herself at Qin Feng's arm and rubbed her head against Qin Feng's chest. Since Qin Feng and Hua Yin had sex, Hua Yin didn't care about taking advantage of him anymore. Qin Feng enjoyed the fragrance on Hua Yin's body. Seeing that Hua Yin was as obedient as a cat, Qin Feng didn't care about what happened before. "Yin Yin, take this fire spirit pill." Qin Feng flipped his hand, and a fiery red pill appeared in his hand. It looked as if it was about to burst into flames. Hua Yin was stunned, and her beautiful eyes sparkled. As a demonic cultivator, she naturally recognized the fire spirit pill in Qin Feng's hand. It was a fifth-grade spirit pill. If an ordinary person ate the fire spirit pill, there was a chance that they would become a demonic cultivator. If a demonic cultivator ate this spirit pill, they would possess fire-attributed demonic qi. Hua Yin was an ice-attributed demonic cultivator. If she ate the fire spirit pill, she would become a rare dual-attributed demonic cultivator genius. Is this really a fire spirit pill? Hua Yin was still in a daze. Her jade-like hands trembled as she took the pill from Qin Feng's hand. "You're my woman. Why would I lie to you?" Qin Feng had been preparing to give this fire spirit pill to Hua Yin for a long time. After he returned to Provincial University as Xiao Feng, he wanted to find Hua Yin to give him the fire spirit pill. However, Hua Yin ignored him, and he only had the chance to give her the fire spirit pill now. Qin Feng felt that he had enough. Other people fought for fifth-grade spirit pills, but he tried his best to give them away. Chapter 671. Hua Yin stared at the fire spirit pill for a long time. Her hands were trembling. Finally, she put the pill into her mouth. The fire spirit pill melted in her mouth. Waves of hot air surged uncontrollably in Hua Yin's body like a fierce beast. Bang! An explosive sound came from Hua Yin's body. Her fair skin turned fiery red, as if she was about to burst into flames. Her catgirl outfit was torn apart by the shockwave, and the pieces were scattered all over her body. She looked wild and beautiful. "Little pig, is Hua Yin okay?" Qin Feng was a little worried. He had never taken the fire spirit pill before, so he didn't know if Hua Yin's condition was normal or abnormal. "Master, don't worry. This is the reaction after taking the fire spirit pill. Hua Yin has ice attribute demonic qi. Now, the fire spirit pill is going to transform her meridians and bones to stimulate the fire attribute demonic qi," Little Pig explained for a long time and used a lot of professional jargon. Qin Feng was confused, but he was relieved to know that Hua Yin was fine. Hua Yin was already sitting cross-legged on the ground. Explosions kept coming from her body. After listening for a while, Qin Feng didn't find it strange. He began to search the surroundings carefully. Previously, Qin Feng was looking for formations and mechanisms. He didn't check if there were treasures in this closed secret room. Qin Feng walked around the secret chamber and searched everywhere he could. The secret chamber wasn't big to begin with, and it was completely empty. Aside from the four walls, there was nothing else in it. Suddenly, Qin Feng stopped and knocked a few times on a rock wall. Qin Feng first knocked on the left, then on the right. Very quickly, he discovered that the rock wall on the left was empty. Bang! Qin Fin struck out with his palm, and the rock wall was instantly pierced through, revealing a small notch. In the notch was a cowhide scroll, as well as a few small bottles. Qin Feng took out all the items from the grooves. There were 5 bottles of different colors. After Qin Feng obtained the Book of 100 Materia Medica, he could be considered an expert in the field of medicinal herbs. He opened each bottle and sniffed it. These 5 bottles were probably pills used by demonic cultivators to speed up their cultivation. Qin Feng had no use for them, so he casually threw the bottles into the system. Little chrysanthemum book? Qin Feng opened the cowhide scroll in his hand. The name of the cultivation method was written on the first page. Why did he feel his anus clench when he heard it? Qin Feng continued to flip through the pages. The cowhide scroll was made of a very strange material, and he couldn't tell what it was made of. There were words and pictures on it, and it seemed to be a demonic cultivation technique. Qin Feng roughly flipped through the little chrysanthemum treasure book and thought of the 5 bottles of pills. Those 5 bottles of pills should be used to cultivate the little chrysanthemum treasure book. Rumble! Suddenly, a loud noise came from the surroundings. Qin Feng looked at Hua Yin and saw that she had already stood up from the ground. Hua Yin's clothes were all burned away by the flames. She stood naked in front of Qin Feng. Qin Feng swallowed his saliva at the sight of her perfect figure. Rumble! Hua Yin raised her left hand, and a ball of flame appeared out of thin air, curling around her wrist. Whoosh! She raised her right hand as well. Layers of hard ice covered her right wrist, and blue light flowed around it. Hua Yin stood still. Her left hand was burning with fire, and her right was freezing with ice. She successfully absorbed the fire spirit pill and became a dual-attribute super devil cultivator. Qin Feng, I did it. I actually became a dual-attribute devil cultivator. Hua Yin looked at her hands in disbelief. Before she met Qin Feng, she had never thought about dual attributes. Qin Feng was also stunned. However, he didn't look at Hua Yan's hands. Instead, he stared at Hua Yan's rising and falling chest. It was too spectacular. Ah, this is great. I became a dual attribute devil cultivator. Qin Feng, thank you so much. Hua Yin recovered from the shock. She was sure that she was a dual attribute devil cultivator. Excited, Hua Yin threw herself into Qin Feng's arms. In the next second, Hua Yin jumped out of Qin Feng's arms. She felt Qin Feng's big hands touching her body. Also, Hua Yin realized that her clothes were burned away. What should I do? My clothes are all gone. How can I go out now? Hua Yin crossed her arms and looked at Qin Feng bitterly. Qin Feng smiled. He bought a Catwoman costume from the system and tossed it to Hua Yin. Put it on. Don't catch a cold. Hua Yin looked at the Catwoman costume in her hands in astonishment. She had no idea where Qin Feng got it from. However, Hua Yin didn't think too much about it. She shyly put on the Catwoman costume. Rumble! As soon as she put on the costume, a loud noise came from the sealed chamber. The ground under Qin Feng and Hua Yin's feet shook violently. What's going on? Qin Feng, are we going to die here together? Hua Yin came up and held Qin Feng's arm. She was nervous. She had just become a woman, and she didn't want to die. Don't be afraid. It seems like the door is open again. As soon as Qin Feng finished speaking, a small door opened. A strong light shone into the sealed chamber. Hua Yin couldn't open her eyes. Brother Green Wolf, billowy lady, are you there? When Yiming's voice came from outside, Qin Feng pulled Hua Yin and jumped out of the chamber. Brother Wen, I didn't expect you to still be here. Thank you so much. Qin Feng thought that when Yiming had left, he didn't expect when Yiming to be looking for a way to open the mechanism outside. Qin Feng's impression of when Yiming instantly increased. Ah, I finally see you. I've been looking for the mechanism outside. I don't even know if you guys are dead or alive. How could I have left? When Yiming smiled when he saw Qin Feng and Hua Yin. I'm sorry for wasting Brother Wen's precious time. Qin Feng felt guilty. When Yiming had been outside all this time, so he definitely didn't have time to look for the treasure. Brother Green Wolf, don't say such things. Treasures are just worldly possessions. You guys are my friends. Of course, I won't leave you guys to look for the treasure. I won't feel guilty, Wen Yiming said. Qin Feng and Hua Yin were touched. Qin Feng raised his hand, and the azure sharp sword appeared in his hand. Wen Yiming's eyes lit up when he saw the azure sharp sword. However, this was Qin Feng's treasure sword. Wen Yiming only looked at it with admiration. Brother Wen, what do you think of this treasure sword? This is one of the 6 great swords of Wu Dang, the azure sharp sword. Qin Feng smiled. Good sword. No wonder it's one of the 6 great swords of Wu Dang. Wen Yiming's eyes sparkled. Brother Wen, give it a try and see if it's to your liking. Qin Feng raised his hand, and the azure sharp sword flew into the air. Wen Yiming didn't bother with pleasantries. He leaped into the air, caught the sword, and swung it down. The azure sharp sword seemed to have a life of its own in Wen Yiming's hand. Boom! The rock wall in the distance suddenly exploded. Rubble fell, stirring up the lake. Qin Feng and Hua Yan's eyes lit up. Wen Yiming was a Stage 8 energy expert at the very least, and he was a Stage 8 energy expert. Ha! What a good sword! Brother Green Wolf, thank you for letting me try it. Wen Yiming laughed and threw the azure sharp sword back to Qin Feng. Qin Feng raised his hand, and the azure sharp sword returned to Wen Yiming's hand with a gust of wind. Brother Wen, you are the master of the sword. A treasure sword should be given to a hero. This azure sharp sword is yours. Wen Yiming was stunned with the azure sharp sword in his hand. Wen Yiming's background was very secretive, and he didn't reveal it to Qin Feng. It wasn't that Wen Yiming didn't trust Qin Feng, but it was the rule of their sect. No one was allowed to reveal any information about their sect in the secular world. Otherwise, they would be expelled from the sect. Wen Yiming was indeed an expert swordsman. His swordsmanship wasn't any worse than Qin Feng's solitary 9 swords. However, Wen Yiming lacked a suitable sword. This time, he had come to the secular world to find a sword. He didn't expect that he would have a sword just a few days after coming out. Brother Green Wolf, I don't think this is a good idea. Wen Yiming was in a dilemma. He liked the azure sharp sword very much, but he didn't want to take it away. Seeing Wen Yiming's dilemma, Qin Feng smiled nonchalantly and said, It's just an orange grade sword. I have more with me. Brother Wen, you can take it if you like it. Don't be shy. As Qin Feng spoke, another spirit blast sword appeared in his hand, as if he was performing a magic trick. Hua Yin and Wen Yiming were dumbfounded. Since when did China have so many spiritual swords? Both of them were orange-grade spiritual swords. Usually, it was difficult to find a white-grade spiritual weapon. If that's the case, then I won't stand on ceremony with you, Brother Green Wolf. If Brother Green Wolf has any difficulties in the future, don't hesitate to ask me. Wen Yiming. Wen Yiming wasn't a pretentious person, so he put the azure sharp sword away. Qin Feng nodded and continued, Brother Wen, the azure sharp sword is now yours. However, I have to remind you that the azure sharp sword is one of the 5 great swords of the Wu-Tang sect. Everyone in the Wu-Tang sect is looking for it. You have to be careful of the Wu-Tang sect in the future. I know that. It's just the Wu-Tang sect. I don't care about it. Wen Yiming stood with his hands behind his back. When he said that, his expression was calm, as if he was talking about something very ordinary. There was not the slightest bit of pretentiousness. It was as if the Wu-Tang clan, the 3 schools and 5 sects of Huaxia, was really not worth mentioning in his eyes. Qin Feng and Hua Yin were slightly stunned. They didn't know where Wen Yiming got his confidence from. However, since Wen Yiming didn't mention his background and backing, Qin Feng and Hua Yin didn't ask too much. The few of them chatted for a while more before continuing to swim upstream. There were already a few groups of people in this underground cave. Qin Feng and the other 2 bumped into a lot of people along the way. However, they didn't fight with each other. They just looked at each other for a while before continuing to look for their own treasures. Brother Green Wolf, there are too many people in this underground cave. I think they've already found all the treasures. Should we go up? Wen Yiming suggested. Of course, it's good if we can go up. Then let's start looking for the mechanism to go up. Qin Feng also felt that there was no need to look for treasures. This ruin had almost become a tourist attraction. There were martial artists everywhere. The three of them kept walking upstream. The more they walked, the more people there were. It seemed that everyone had come up from the lower reaches. Along the way, Qin Feng and the other two also encountered some traps, but they narrowly avoided them. They also saw other people trigger the traps. Some people survived, but most people died here. From time to time, people fell from the sky. Those who were lucky could survive falling into the water, but those who were unlucky directly hit the rock wall or the ground and fell to their deaths. The trap is moving. The trap is moving. Everyone, go up. There was a commotion in front of them. Dozens of martial artists gathered on a circular open space. The ground in the center of the open space could actually move slowly, and it was moving up. The surrounding martial artists rushed to jump onto the round platform. The scene was chaotic. Senior White Cloud, Yao Yao, you're here too. Hua Yin saw White Cloud and Rin Xiaoyao in the crowd and ran up to them excitedly. Green Wolf, are you three okay? White Cloud was also very surprised to see Qin Feng and the other two. Both sides thought that the other was dead. Qin Feng and the other two, White Cloud and Rin Xiaoyao, greeted each other. They were teammates who joined the team at the beginning, and they were glad to see each other again. Qin Feng also saw the old Taoist nun from the Immerse sect. However, the female disciple that came with her was gone. He wondered if she had fallen to her death when she fell from the sinkhole. P.S. In order to maintain a daily update schedule, young Master Du wrote until late at night every day. It's too lonely as a writer. I hope that everyone can continue to subscribe and support me. Those who read pirated versions hope that you can come to Zongheng to read the original. After reading pirated versions for so long, it's not difficult to spend 5 yuan a month to support young Master Du, right? Subscriptions are the only standard for a book's performance. If the subscriptions drop, the book may be forced to stop by the website. This is because the website will not promote or continue a book that does not make money. If everyone really likes this book, then come to Zongheng to support the original version with 5 yuan a month. Don't let this book die. Thank you. Chapter 672. The old Taoist nun from the Immerse sect also saw Qin Feng and the others. However, her expression was as cold as ice. Now that one of her disciples had died, she was even colder. No wonder Bai Yun and Rin Xiaoyao didn't stand with the old Taoist nun. Senior Bai Yun? What's that? Qin Feng had been here for a while. Seeing everyone scrambling to jump onto the small round platform in the middle, Qin Feng couldn't help but ask. Yao Yao and I haven't been here for long. I heard that the round platform is a mechanism that leads to the cave above. The round platform automatically activates every 10 minutes. 10 minutes later, you can go up to the cave above, and 10 minutes later, you can go back down to the cave below. Only 10 people can stand on the round platform at a time. While Bai Yun was explaining, a quarrel broke out on the round platform. Hey, what are you trying to do? I'm obviously in front of you. How can you steal my spot? There were 11 people standing on the round platform. One of them was a handsome, sissy man who was arguing with another man. The other man was tall and burly. His skin was dark and rough, and he carried a big sword with an iron ring on his shoulder. He glared at the sissy and shouted fiercely, "Who the fuck stole your spot? I'm in front of you. Do you believe that I won't chop you in half if you keep arguing?" The brawny man had a loud voice, which was comparable to Lu Jie's. His voice was so ferocious that many people around him took a few steps back. They were afraid that they would be affected by the impact of the fight. Don't you have any shame? How dare you steal my spot with a woman? I mean a man. You, hurry up and go down. Otherwise I won't be polite anymore. The sissy placed one hand on his waist and pointed at the brawny man with the other. He looked like an ante in a market. Half of the people around him retreated. Everyone was shocked by the sissy. Qin Feng was even more shocked. He was so shocked that he was crispy on the outside and tender on the inside. He knew the sissy. He was Lu Bingbing's former subordinate, Li Tao. When Qin Feng first met this kid, he was still normal and masculine. However, ever since Qin Feng went to Peacetown's Feng Yun Fun City to rescue Hua Yin, this kid had become abnormal. At that time, Qin Feng discovered that Li Xiao Jie had actually come back to life, so Qin Feng tricked Li Xiao Jie again. He replaced all of Li Xiao Jie's organs with animal organs. Later, Qin Feng disguised himself as Li Xiao Jie and went to the hidden prison. The people locked up there were all experimental victims. Li Tao was one of them. Qin Feng asked Li Tao to help him save the victim. At that time, Li Tao acted like a sissy and groped Qin Feng, which disgusted Qin Feng. At the time, Qin Feng had saved Hua Yin as well. Hua Yin had been stunned by Li Tao's effeminate appearance. She had even thought that Qin Feng was gay and had made a secret deal with Li Tao. "You damn sissy, I'll kill you with one slash." The strong, bearded man couldn't stand Li Tao's sissy, so he slashed at him with his saber. The people in the queue hurriedly took a few steps back, and the few people on the small round table also gave way. The round table became a battlefield for the two of them to fight. Rumble, the strong, bearded man, was an expert who cultivated external techniques. His saber slashed at Li Tao with an earth-shattering momentum. Li Tao had one hand on his waist, and the other was pointing at the strong, bearded man while cursing. It was as if everyone could already see Li Tao being split into two in the next second. "Ouch! You stinking man! How dare you attack me? I'll beat you to death!" The saber slashed down, creating a series of wind-breaking sounds. Unexpectedly, it hit nothing. Li Tao's body was like a fish in water. He was agile and nimble. No one knew when he had already arrived behind the strong, bearded man. Slap! Without any hesitation, Li Tao slapped the back of the brawny man's head. The crisp sound of the slap reverberated in the air above the cave, shocking everyone. "How dare you bully me? I'll teach you a lesson." Slap! 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 Li Tao didn't stop. His figure was like a flash of lightning, constantly changing his position. His speed was so fast that everyone's eyes were dazzled. They could only hear the sound of the slap, but they couldn't determine Li Tao's position. "Ah! You stinking sissy, if you have the balls, stop running around. Do you dare to stand still and let me slash you?" The strong, bearded man had probably been slapped silly by Li Tao. Otherwise, why would he ask such an idiotic question? Only an idiot would stand still and let him slash him. The strength of his saber was no less than 800 kilograms. A slash could even leave a crack in the rock wall. "You're all brawn and no brain. Why don't you stand still and let me slash you?" "Ba, no, I'm a man, a real man." Li Tao scolded the strong, bearded man while slapping him. Although his speed was extremely fast, his inner chi was obviously not strong. It seemed that he was only at stage 5 inner chi. Even though he slapped the strong, bearded man more than 100 times, the strong, bearded man didn't suffer any injuries other than a slight swelling on his face. "You're really a dead pig that doesn't fear boiling water. My hands are red from slapping you. So annoying. I soak my hands in milk every day, and now I've wasted half a month." Li Tao's sharp voice sounded from time to time. Many people covered their ears, as they couldn't bear to listen to him. Li Tao was obviously a man, but the way he spoke and behaved was more feminine than a sissy. Calling him a sissy was already praising him. Rumble! Suddenly, a loud sound came from the underground cave. The ground began to shake slightly. It turned out that the strong, bearded man was angered by Li Tao's slaps. He stomped on the ground, and his big foot sank into the ground, creating a deep pit. "Get lost!" The strong, bearded man raised his hand and directly used a move that could wipe out 1,000 troops. The big saber in his hand whistled through the air. This saber created a fierce wind. Within a radius of 5 meters, the strong, bearded man definitely wouldn't be able to get close. Li Tao didn't see that the strong, bearded man had already released a big move. His thin body was directly sent flying by the saber wind. He fell on the hard rock and vomited blood. "Cough, cough! You stinky man, you dare to injure me!" Li Tao clutched his chest and vomited blood while staring at the strong, bearded man. He wanted to attack and teach the strong, bearded man a lesson. However, this attack had clearly caused Li Tao to be seriously injured. At this time, the chi in his body was chaotic, and he couldn't use his inner chi. You pervert, I hate transvestites like you the most. Go and die for me. The strong bearded man had been slapped over 100 times by Li Tao in front of everyone. He had long been suppressing his anger. At this time, he didn't hesitate. He lifted his big saber and jumped into the air. That domineering and awe-inspiring long saber fell from the sky. The rock wall behind Li Tao began to fall, a pile of rubble. Bang. A loud sound spread. The big saber didn't hit Li Tao. It wasn't that Li Tao had run away. Instead, a man wearing a wolf mask suddenly appeared in front of Li Tao. He held an orange sword in his hand and forcibly blocked the strong, bearded man's full-strength attack. Rumble. After the loud sound of the saber and sword colliding dissipated, another sound came from under Qin Feng's feet. Qin Feng's entire body sank more than 10 centimeters into the ground. Even his shoes had completely sunk into the ground. The strong, bearded man was stunned by the scene in front of him. He was a stage 7 external expert. That saber strike had nearly 900 kilograms of strength. How could it be broken by the wolf-masked man's sword? Most importantly, the wolf-masked man was standing below. This position didn't give him an advantage. Who are you, monster? Are you a sissy's man? How dare you meddle in the affairs of the 10,000-weight sect? The strong, bearded man angrily yelled at Qin Feng. He even specially mentioned his backer. Qin Feng had heard of the 10,000-weight sect. During the martial arts disturbance, almost all the big and small sects outside of China were mobilized. The 10,000-weight sect was one of them. It was said that it was a sect that specialized in external techniques. The disciples inside all had tyrannical external martial arts. Today, seeing the strong, bearded man in front of him, Qin Feng experienced the strength of this sect. Li Tao didn't think that someone would help him. He immediately had a good impression of Green Wolf. Li Tao was about to thank Qin Feng, but Qin Feng's next words made him change his mind. Big beard, you can insult the sissy behind me, but you can't insult my sexual orientation. Whoosh! As soon as Qin Feng finished speaking, he swung his long sword. Sword chi surged forth, scaring the strong, bearded man into hurriedly retreating. Clang, clang, clang. The strong, bearded man was too slow, and his body was hit by the sword chi. However, it was obvious that this person had cultivated external martial arts since he was young. His body was like an iron wall. When Qin Feng's sword chi landed on his body, it actually made the sound of metal clashing. A stage 7 inner chi expert, the strong, bearded man retreated to the side. He didn't attack again. Instead, he looked at Qin Feng with fear. Qin Feng was currently a stage 6 external and stage 7 inner chi expert. However, Qin Feng was able to defeat a stage 8 inner chi expert. He held back his strength when he attacked. He didn't expect that the strong, bearded man would be stunned just like that. There's no enmity between us. What do you want? The strong, bearded man lost his imposing manner. If he fought Qin Feng one-on-one, he might win. However, Li Tao was here. The strong, bearded man came alone, so he didn't dare to act blindly without thinking. Nothing much. I just don't like you, so I used you to practice, Qin Feng said indifferently. The reason why he attacked was because he knew Li Tao. This person used to be Liu Bingbing's subordinate. Liu Bingbing was Qin Feng's woman, so Qin Feng couldn't just watch her die. The strong, bearded man was so angry that his nostrils flared. Li Tao saw that the strong, bearded man was angered. The other martial artists who came to search for treasures stood far away to avoid the conflict from affecting them. Stage 7 inner chi and Stage 7 external chi experts were considered above average among the crowd. Many martial artists showed expressions of fear. Why is everyone still standing there like idiots? Continue to line up. If anyone dares to cut the line again, I won't be polite. Qin Feng swept his gaze over the stunned crowd. These martial artists immediately came back to their senses. The 9 people who stood on the round platform went up again. Li Tao was really the 10th person. The strong, bearded man saw that Li Tao looked weak and wanted to take his position. He didn't expect that he would be slapped in the face. Li Tao didn't go up the round platform. He came to Qin Feng's side and chatted. The strong, bearded man stared at the round platform and wanted to go up. However, he looked at Qin Feng and resisted the urge. This time, only the 9 people were brought up to the round platform. The others didn't dare to casually walk up the round platform. This trip would take another 20 minutes. Everyone continued to search for treasures and chat. Young hero, I still don't know your name. Li Tao circled around Qin Feng and greeted him. Qin Feng saved Li Tao because of Lu Bingbing. Otherwise, he wouldn't have bothered with this sissy Li Tao. Qin Feng felt that this guy was too effeminate. Don't thank me. I wasn't helping you. I just didn't like that person who cut the line. That's why I helped him. Qin Feng didn't want to talk to Li Tao, but Li Tao kept nagging beside Qin Feng. Hua Yin became nervous when she saw this scene. Is Qin Feng really bisexual? Hey, why are you always following my boyfriend? Go away. Hua Yin became Qin Feng's woman not long ago. She saw that Li Tao kept pestering Qin Feng and felt inexplicably jealous. Li Tao glanced at Hua Yin and said charmingly, Tiske, what are you thinking? Do you think I'm pestering your boyfriend because I like him? I haven't even seen what he looks like. How could I like him? Besides, she already has a Prince Charming in her heart. Don't be jealous for no reason. Chapter 673. Qin Feng and Hua Yan's hearts skipped a beat when they heard Li Tao said he already had a Prince Charming in his heart. You're a transvestite? How can a man like another man? You're disgusting. Hua Yin was even angrier now. She recalled Li Tao's flirtatious and attentive behavior toward Qin Feng in Feng Yunfan City. Hua Yin had a feeling that Qin Feng was most likely the Prince Charming in Li Tao's heart. Qin Feng had the same thought. He suddenly realized how difficult it was to be a charming man. Men, women, young and old were attracted to him. What are you talking about? I'll just pretend that I don't understand. Hua Yin blurted out the truth in a fit of anger. Li Tao was as shy as a little girl who just had her first awakening of love. He even twirled his hair with his fingers. Your voice sounds familiar. I think I've heard it somewhere before. Oh, by the way, are you the big-breasted girl in Feng Yunfan City? Li Tao looked at Hua Yan's cat lady mask as if he suddenly remembered something. Then, he looked at Hua Yan's voluptuous breasts and nodded. He murmured to himself, that should be it. She's that magnificent. Hua Yin was infuriated by Li Tao. Her voluptuous breasts surged even more violently, as if she was protesting. However, Li Tao seemed to be uninterested in this thing. He simply glanced at her and then moved his eyes away. You've mistaken me for someone else. I don't know a trap like you. Hua Yin glared at Li Tao. The more Li Tao listened, the more he felt that Hua Yin sounded like him. Before Li Tao could continue, Qin Feng lowered his voice and said, Little brother, have you been to Feng Yunfan City recently? And you see my girlfriend? I've been to Feng Yunfan City, but I don't know if your girlfriend is the big-breasted girl I met. My Prince Charming saved me there. Oh, I haven't seen my Prince Charming for almost 2 months. I miss him so much. As Li Tao spoke, he started to count the time with his fingers. Seeing this, Hua Yin pinched Qin Feng's waist fiercely. This time, the two of them were sure that Qin Feng was the Prince Charming in Li Tao's heart. Cough, cough. Qin Feng almost vomited blood. He coughed for a while and then said, Don't tell me your Prince Charming is called Qin Feng. You know him? Do you know where he is? Take me to see him. Once Li Tao heard the 2 words, Qin Feng, it was as if he was possessed. He grabbed Qin Feng's arm and jumped around. He was as happy as a little girl who got a lollipop. Bai Yun, Rin Xiaoyao, and Wen Yiming had already distanced themselves from Qin Feng. They were too embarrassed to reveal that they knew Azure Wolf. Qin Feng angrily swatted Li Tao's hand away and almost gave the brat another kick. The reason why Qin Feng told Li Tao so much was because he wanted to clarify something. Li Tao used to be Lu Bingbing's subordinate, an ordinary person. When Qin Feng saved Li Tao in Feng Yunfan City, he didn't cultivate. However, Li Tao had become a Stage 5 inner chi expert in just a month. His speed was so fast that Qin Feng wouldn't be able to catch up to Li Tao if he didn't activate the sacred Azure Battle Armor's hyper-intuition. An ordinary person breaking through to stage 5 inner chi in a little more than a month? This speed put Qin Feng to shame. Don't touch me. Otherwise, I won't take you to see Qin Feng, Qin Feng said in a low voice. Li Tao immediately quieted down. He blinked his eyes and looked at Qin Feng pitifully. Qin Feng almost vomited blood again. I'll be quiet. You can't lie to me. You have to take me to see Qin Feng, Appa, Li Tao said in a soft voice. Qin Feng forcefully suppressed the boiling blood in his body and said in a cold voice, If you want me to take you to see Qin Feng, you have to answer a few questions. Ask away. Li Tao agreed without hesitation. I'm quite familiar with Qin Feng. I think I heard him mention you. Are you Li Tao? Ayaya. Did he really mention me in front of you? Huh? I'm really happy. What did he say about me in front of you? Bang! Qin Feng couldn't take it anymore. He kicked Li Tao's thigh, and Li Tao almost knelt on the ground. Can't you fucking speak properly? Can you? Well, if you want to speak properly, why did you kick me? You really don't know how to be tender and protective of the fairer sex. Li Tao clenched his large fists and spun them around his eyes. Qin Feng immediately felt like he was hit by 100,000 tons of force. You're Li Tao. You used to be a normal police officer, right? How did you suddenly become a martial artist? What level are you at now? How did you cultivate? When Qin Feng got down to business, Li Tao returned to normal. It's a long story, so I'll make it short. I accidentally obtained a secret manual, and I cultivated according to it. In the end, I leveled up like a rocket, and I'm now a level 4 devil cultivator. Qin Feng's face was blank. He didn't think that Li Tao would become a demon cultivator. What secret manual did this guy pick up? He was even more heaven-defying than the system. What's the name of your secret manual? Qin Feng continued to ask. I'll tell you, but you have to promise not to tell anyone else. This secret manual should be very precious. If too many people know, I'll be in trouble. Li Tao wasn't stupid. He was already on guard. Don't worry. Qin Feng and I are good friends. I won't betray you, Qin Feng said with a twitch of his mouth. Once he heard the two words, Qin Feng, Li Tao acted like he was possessed. His vigilance disappeared. He stuck close to Qin Feng's ear and said, The secret manual I cultivate is called the Little Chrysanthemum Treasure Book. It's a demon cultivator's secret manual. It's very powerful. Do you want to learn it? Since you're my male god's good friend, I can share it with you. Seeing Qin Feng and Li Tao stick their faces to each other intimately, Hua Yin was so angry that her lungs were about to explode. Qin Feng was struck by a bolt of lightning. He felt unwell. Little Chrysanthemum Treasure Book? Wasn't that the secret manual he found in the sealed cave? Little pig, what the hell is that Little Chrysanthemum Treasure Book? Is it really that powerful? Qin Feng communicated with Little Pig telepathically. Master, the Little Chrysanthemum Treasure Book is very powerful. It and the Demon Lord's Treasure Book you obtained from the mission are called the Demon Race's Holy Book. The demon cultivators have fought for these two Earth-rank secret manuals for tens of thousands of years. Now no one knows where these two manuals are. They've been lost for a long time. Rumor has it that as long as you obtain one of the demon race's grand ceremonies, you can dominate the demon race and become the Demon Lord. Little Pig explained. Qin Feng was dumbfounded. Is it really that exaggerated? Are you talking about a myth or a real story? Little Pig shook its head and said, I'm not sure. Anyway, that's what the system says. Master, you can tell if it's real or not. Qin Feng still believed in the system's information. The system was so mysterious that Qin Feng couldn't see the tip of its iceberg. Thinking about the two demon races' grand ceremonies in his hands, Qin Feng was very excited. Master, don't think too much. You probably got the second half of the Little Chrysanthemum Treasure Book. Li Tao got the first half. You can't cultivate it with only the first half. Also, I don't recommend Master to cultivate the Little Chrysanthemum Treasure Book. If you want to cultivate it, you should choose the Demon Lord's Treasure Book. Is the Demon Lord's Treasure Book more powerful than the Little Chrysanthemum Treasure Book? Qin Feng asked. That's not it. After cultivating the two secret manuals, one's strength is about the same. It's just that the Demon Lord's Treasure Book doesn't have any side effects. Cultivating the little chrysanthemum treasure book will have side effects. Qin Feng was startled. He seemed to have guessed something, but he still asked, what side effects? Little Pig revealed a naughty smile and said, Master, you know the sunflower treasure book, right? The little chrysanthemum treasured book is the original version of the sunflower treasured book. It was just that it was slowly modified and became the sunflower treasured book. Hearing the sunflower treasure book, Qin Feng's chrysanthemum tightened. 8 big words appeared in his mind. To cultivate this technique, one must first castrate oneself. Qin Feng couldn't help but look at Li Tao's pants. He felt a chill in his heart. Master, actually the original version of the little sunflower treasure book doesn't require one to castrate oneself. However, its side effect is that it causes the cultivator to hallucinate about their gender. Qin Feng's entire body trembled. This wasn't as good as castrating oneself. Young hero, I've told you everything you wanted to know. When will you take me to see Adonis? Qin Feng was roused by Li Tao's voice. He looked at Li Tao again and suddenly felt that this person was quite pitiful. Ahem, we'll talk about it when we have time. As Qin Feng spoke, he took 2 steps back. He didn't dare to get too close to Li Tao. Li Tao hurriedly chased after him. He pulled Qin Feng and said, Handsome, don't dismiss me like this. How about I tell you the little chrysanthemum treasure book's secret manual? Listen carefully. Hurry and shut up. Don't ever read it. Otherwise, I'll never take you to see Adonis. Qin Feng was so frightened that he hastily interrupted Li Tao. Right now, he was very glad that he found the 2nd volume of the secret technique in the cave. If it was the 1st volume, Qin Feng would have foolishly cultivated it, and the consequences would have been unimaginable. Okay, then I won't read it. This is a treasure. I won't let others learn it even if they want it. I only shared it with you because you're good friends with Adonis. Are you sure you don't want to learn it? Li Tao looked at Qin Feng with a smug expression. Qin Feng didn't want to learn it. He didn't want to become like Li Tao. How would Qin Feng's women live? Live? I don't want to learn it. Don't bother me anymore. Otherwise, I won't take you to see Adonis. Qin Feng didn't want to talk to Li Tao anymore. When Li Tao saw that Qin Feng was determined not to learn it, he harumphed arrogantly. He even looked at Qin Feng as if he was looking at an idiot. Time passed quickly. The small round table went up and down a few times. This time, it was Qin Feng's and the others' turn. The sturdy man from the 10,000-fold sect, who should have lined up earlier, was still standing to the side. He didn't dare to leave before Qin Feng. Senior Bai Yun, Yao Yao, let's go together. Qin Feng looked at Bai Yun and Ren Xiaoyao. The 2 of them also walked onto the small round table. Including the 4 people on Qin Feng's side, there were already 6 people. The old Taoist nun from the Immerse sect also jumped onto the stage. Only 3 people were left. The 10 people stood on the small round table and slowly ascended towards the cave above. 10 minutes later, everyone returned to the top. The place they arrived at was the circular hall that Qin Feng and the others discovered. At that time, everyone fell from here. This time, Qin Feng suddenly realized that this cave was circular. When Qin Feng and the others fell in, they kept walking upstream. In reality, they walked in a circle and finally returned to the place where they fell. However, there was a rock between the starting point and the ending point of the cave, so no one could figure out the structure. Newcomers, line up here. If you don't want to die, then obediently listen to me. Otherwise, you'll end up like those corpses on the ground. Just as Qin Feng's group of 10 came up, they heard a threat coming from the circular hall. Everyone looked towards the hall and saw a man and a woman standing in the hall. They were Golden Spear and Chun Nyang. Chapter 674. Everyone was dumbfounded by Golden Spear and Chun Nyang. Apart from Qin Feng and a few others, no one knew who Golden Spear and Chun Nyang were. The hall was filled with corpses and blood. It was as horrifying and bloody as hell. Who are you? What do you want? A short man in the crowd was the first to jump off the platform. He glared at Golden Spear with a displeased expression. Don't talk so much nonsense. Stand properly over there and hand over all the treasures you're hiding. Otherwise, you'll die. Golden Spear was even more arrogant as he glared at the short man with an ice-cold expression. Everyone now understood that the Golden Spear and the charming and sexy woman were robbing in the hall. These two people were really bold. They dared to rob in broad daylight. Brat, you want to rob people? You're courting death. After the short man understood, he suddenly jumped up. He had 2 scimitars on his waist. With a leap, he arrived in front of Golden Spear. Then, he pulled out his hands and 2 rays of cold light shot out. Oomph. You're just a stage for enrich trash. You're overestimating yourself. Golden Spear didn't move an inch. With a contemptuous look on his face, he lightly struck out with his palm. The air was filled with the sound of wind breaking. The strength of a stage 7 enrich expert was displayed. The short man was so scared that his eyeballs almost popped out. He wanted to escape, but it was too late. Bang! A muffled sound came from the short man's chest. Blood splattered everywhere. Golden Spear's palm directly pierced through the short man's chest, leaving a fist-sized bloody hole. His heart had long been ruptured. It was a horrifying sight. Hiss! Many people gasped when they saw this bloody scene. Apart from the short man, there were many others in the crowd who were also ready to make a move. It was just that the short man was a step faster. But now, everyone rejoiced that the short man was a step faster. Otherwise, they would be the ones lying in a pool of blood. Is there anyone else who's not convinced? Come out and accept your death. I'll kill to my heart's content. Golden Spear stood at the entrance with his hands clasped behind his back. He looked like he was asking for a beating. However, no one was as strong as him, so they could only swallow their anger. When Qin Feng and the others saw Golden Spear and Chen Ernyang, their expressions were different. On the way up, Qin Feng had already discussed Chen Ernyang with White Cloud. At first, Qin Feng suspected that White Cloud and Chen Ernyang were in cahoots. After all, Chen Ernyang was someone White Cloud found. However, after communicating with each other, it was confirmed that they were not in cahoots. White Cloud just needed someone who understood formations, so Chen Ernyang automatically signed up to join the exploration team. Damn fatty. Why are you still standing there like an idiot? Hurry up and hand over all the treasures you found down there, or I'll blow your head off with one punch. The Golden Spear killed one to serve as a warning to the others. The others were shocked. The person standing at the very front was the brawny man from the 10,000-fold sect. His muscles were trembling. He was, after all, a stage 7 external expert. In the past, he was the one who screamed at others, but today he had suffered so many setbacks. He was about to die of depression. The sturdy man hesitated for a moment, but still decided to hand over the treasure he found. This was because the Golden Spear was already very strong, and there was a woman standing not far away. Judging from the woman's aura, she was clearly an expert. Bang! The sturdy man removed the storage pouch from his waist and was about to hand it over when Li Tao, who was standing behind him, suddenly slapped his arm. The sturdy man's fist immediately swung towards the Golden Spear and suddenly accelerated. Damn it! You dare to sneak attack me? I'll chop you into 8 pieces. The Golden Spear's reaction was extremely fast. As he roared, he had already dodged the sturdy man's fist. That sturdy man from the 10,000-fold sect felt extremely sullen in his heart. He didn't want to throw that punch. It was Li Tao's dirty trick. But now he couldn't quibble, because Golden Spear's palm slapped towards him. Rumble! The sturdy man did not dodge. He was an external expert, and his advantage lay in close combat. The two's fist and palm collided, causing a loud sound. The air around them surged, and a few people almost fell from the small round platform back into the cave below. The Golden Spear had already been sent flying and fell to the ground in a sorry state. The sturdy man from the 10,000-fold sect stood in place without moving, but his feet had sunk into the ground, leaving 2 deep footprints. This damn fatty is a physical cultivator. I was too careless. The Golden Spear angrily glared at the sturdy man. The sturdy man's punch contained a force of nearly 900 kilograms. If Golden Spear did not protect his body in time, he would have been smashed into meat paste. The sturdy man did not expect Golden Spear to be so weak. He could tell that Golden Spear and Qin Feng were both stage 7 inner chi, but he felt that there was a huge gap between them. Even a stage 7 inner chi expert like Golden Spear would be sent flying by Qin Feng with a single slap. How dare you show off in front of me after learning some lousy martial arts? I'll stomp you to death. The sturdy man roared, causing the entire round hall to tremble. He had just punched out with confidence, so he leaped up and stomped on the Golden Spear on the ground. Chun Ernyang, save me! Crackle! As soon as the Golden Spear's voice fell, a white light appeared in midair. Chun Ernyang brandished her long whip, and layers of whip shadows fell on the sturdy man's body. Bang! 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 This was the difference between physical and spiritual techniques. Physical cultivators focused on cultivating their inner force and body. They could create an impenetrable defense and immense strength. However, this kind of inner force could only be unleashed once, and the next attack would require the user to circulate his inner force again. On the other hand, an inner chi cultivator could unleash multiple attacks at once. Since they were using their inner chi, they could sustain their attacks for a long time. In an instant, dozens of whip shadows landed on the sturdy man's body, and the sound of metal striking metal rang out. The sturdy man grimaced in pain, and his burly body retreated step by step. Every time he took a step back, a deep footprint would appear on the ground. This showed that Qin Ernyang's attack was very powerful. Bitch, you framed my sex disciple and killed him on the cliff of the sky pit. I'll avenge my disciple by taking your cheap life. Seeing that the sturdy man from the 10,000-layer sect was at a disadvantage, a silhouette flashed through the crowd and appeared in midair. Swish! 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 Abyss Annihilation waved the horsetail whisk in her hand lightly. Another explosive aura rose in the hall. The air condensed and turned into a sharp blade that shot towards Qin Ernyang. It was somewhat similar to Qin Feng's wind blade skill. Damn Taoist nun. Since you didn't die from the fall, I'll kill you with my own hands and let you have a good time. Golden Spear had recovered most of his strength. He suddenly pounced on Abyss Annihilation, and his palms turned into wind palms. Bang! 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 Loud noises resounded in the circular hall. Gravel rolled down from the cliff, and the ground trembled slightly. The fight was very intense. It was a fight between a stage 7 inner chi expert and a stage 7 external chi expert. Many people were stunned by the scene. Green Wolf, let's go. That Qin Ernyang and Golden Spear are not good people. I want to kill Golden Spear with my own hands. Hua Yin had been teased by Golden Spear several times today, so she hated Golden Spear. Qin Feng pulled Hua Yin into his arms and whispered into her ear, "Don't move. It's not that simple. Let's wait and see. When White Cloud makes his move, we'll follow him." The anger on Hua Yin's face disappeared immediately. She seemed to have figured out something was wrong. Hua Yin had become Qin Feng's woman not long ago, so she didn't mind being held intimately by Qin Feng. She whispered into Qin Feng's ear, "Do you think there's something wrong with White Cloud?" "I'm not sure if there's something wrong with White Cloud, but there's definitely something wrong with Qin Ernyang. Although she and Golden Spear are stage 7 inner chi experts, there are many martial artists in the ancient martial ruins, including some stage 8 inner chi experts. Can the two of them really control the exit?" Look at those martial artists who died tragically on the ground. Is there really no one who can defeat them? Qin Fen voiced out his doubts. Hua Yan's expression changed drastically. Do you mean that there's an expert behind them? Qin Feng nodded slightly and hugged Hua Yan's slim waist tighter. There should be a master behind them. Otherwise, White Cloud would have made his move long ago. I don't know where that master is hiding, and I can't sense his aura. I suspect that White Cloud has sensed it. If even White Cloud doesn't dare to act rashly, then you can imagine how strong that person is. Qin Feng's big hand restlessly pinched Hua Yan's waist, but Hua Yan didn't care about it at all. She was shocked by Qin Feng's suspicion. White Cloud was the strongest among the 10 members of the exploration team. If he didn't dare to make a move, then what kind of big shot was hiding behind Chen Ernyang? Since White Cloud was unwilling to make a move, Qin Feng and the others who came with him didn't make a move. Instead, the other martial artists who came with Qin Feng and the others jumped out. They didn't think too much about it. When they saw the Immerse sect's Taoist nun and the strong man from the 10,000-fold sect, they thought they could definitely kill Golden Spear and Chen Ernyang as long as they helped them. The battle was in full swing. Gravel kept rolling down from the circular hall. It felt like an earthquake. Golden Spear picked up a spear from the ground and stood in front as the main attacker. Chen Ernyang stood behind him, and the long whip in her hand cracked like thunder. Their cooperation was very exciting. You're just a stage 5 inner chi cultivator. You're courting death. The Golden Spear's spear trembled, and the sharp sword tip directly pierced a warrior's eye. The warrior howled in pain, and just as he was about to grab his eye, the Golden Spear forcefully pulled back and swung his spear. With a rumble, the martial artist's entire head directly exploded. Fuck! What the fuck is going on? Is there a fight? That man with the spear is so cruel. Even if he wants to kill someone, he shouldn't be so cruel. Both sides fought for more than 20 minutes. At this time, a new group of people was teleported up from the underground cave. The martial artists who came up were shocked by the bloody scene before them. Golden Spear was cruel and merciless. Everyone was unhappy with him. Ha ha! Another group of lambs came up. Ernyang, you're so smart. I like this kind of robbery the most. We don't have to do anything and just sit back and reap the benefits. Golden Spear's eyes burned when he saw another group of people came up. He stared at the new group of people like a hungry wolf staring at lambs. You vicious bastard. Do you think I'm a lamb? I'm going to kill you first. Those who came to explore were all martial artists. Most of them were Jianghu people. They were outspoken and hot-tempered. They would use their spears if they didn't like it. 3 black figures jumped out of the crowd. One of them was holding a sword, and the other 2 were barehanded. All of them pounced at Golden Spear. Crackle! Golden Spear didn't even need to attack. Suddenly, a dozen white lights flashed in the air. The sound of whips was like thunder. Combined with the whips, it was like lightning and thunder. The man with the sword rushed to the front. He didn't even have time to swing his sword before he was sent flying. The other 2 martial artists didn't fare any better. They were badly mutilated by the overlapping whips. They fell to the ground and stopped breathing. This woman is so vicious. She's no better than that man. They are indeed a pair of adulterous men and women. They are a perfect match. What should we do now? Let's escape during the chaos. 3 martial artists died in an instant. The rest of the people began to discuss. Chapter 675. The crowd started to panic. A few timid people ran towards the exit of the hall, but before they could take 2 steps, 3 stage for inner chi martial artists were already lying in a pool of blood. Crackle! With the sound of the whip, the 3 people were whipped into meat paste. This scene was too bloody and violent. Many martial artists secretly clenched their fists and gnashed their teeth in anger, but no one dared to resist. Ha! Want to run? Do you think you can run away from me? Golden Spear leaped to the exit of the hall. He held his spear and pierced through anyone who came. Soon, the crowd gathered around the small round platform. No one dared to run anymore. They wanted nothing more than to be teleported to the cave below. It was too dangerous up there. Senior White Cloud, why aren't you doing anything? Qin Feng couldn't stand it anymore and asked White Cloud. White Cloud's weathered face under the white mask changed unpredictably. His sword-like eyebrows were knitted together, and even his aura began to fluctuate. White Cloud was obviously angry, but he still didn't make a move. Who knew what he was waiting for? I originally wanted to spare your worthless lives because you were members of our exploration team. But since you lost your way and didn't return, don't blame others. An angry rebuke resounded in Qin Feng's ears. Before Qin Feng could react, a white figure appeared in the air. Wen Yiming held the azure-edged sword. His long hair fluttered in the wind. The spirit sword in his hand seemed to have been bestowed with life. It fell lightly, but it brought with it an aura that could shatter mountains. It's you? You didn't fall to your death? Looks like you're all cockroaches. How can you be fine after falling from such a deep hole? Golden Spear's expression changed drastically. He and Qin Ernyang were focused on fighting the Immerse sect Taoist nun and the strong man, so they didn't notice Qin Feng and the others. Now that their teammates had returned, Golden Spear and Qin Ernyang were more or less nervous. The azure-edged sword fell in front of Golden Spear. Without thinking, Golden Spear raised his spear and collided with it. Clang! The spear was immediately broken into two. The surging sword aura sent Golden Spear flying, and he fell on his but beside Qin Ernyang. Golden Spear sat on the ground, dumbstruck, forgetting to get up. Wen Yiming was one of the members of this expedition team, but he had been too low-key before, so everyone had almost forgotten about him. They didn't expect that this guy's strength was actually so strong. He should only be below White Cloud. Bitch, your time of death has come. Hand over your life. Without the protection of the Golden Spear, the Immerse sect's old Taoist priestess flew to Qin Ernyang's side, swinging the horsetail whisk in her hand back and forth. The Wanzhong Mountain Man didn't stop. He leaped up and stepped on the Golden Spear like a towering mountain. Qin Ernyang, hurry. Hurry up and call the expert behind you to come out. I'm going to be trampled to death. Golden Spear was so scared that his complexion greatly changed. He was a cowardly person who was as timid as a mouse. Qin Ernyang did not pay any attention to the Golden Spear. She even cast a cold glance at him. Her long whip rose into the air, and a few shadows of the whip fell down like a curtain, temporarily blocking the Immerse sect's Taoist priestess and the strong man. The air was filled with loud, clanging noises. Break for me! When Yiming raised his sword again, it was still a simple move. The long sword was like a rainbow, and a condensed sword chi surged down, instantly shattering the overlapping shadows of the whip. Bang! A muffled sound came from Qin Ernyang's body, and she was directly sent flying. She leaned against the rock wall and wiped the blood from the corner of her mouth. She stared straight at Wen Yiming, looking as if she wanted to skin him alive. Ha! I can avenge my disciple. Jing your soul in heaven can rest in peace. The old Taoist priestess's beautiful face, which was maintained to be like a young girl's, suddenly became ferocious. The horsetail whisk in her hand spun quickly, instantly stirring up layers of powerful qi, and flew straight at Qin Ernyang. The strong man had also been waiting for this moment for a long time. The anger he had been holding back today had completely exploded, and all the muscles in his body were creaking. He quickly ran toward the Golden Spear, and with every step he took, a deep pit appeared on the ground, causing the entire hall to shake. The two of them attacked together, and the Golden Spear and Qin Ernyang no longer had the strength to fight back. When Yiming stood with his hands behind his back, and he didn't need to attack anymore. Rumble! A loud sound rang out, and a sudden gale rose in the hall. Sand and stones flew everywhere, making it difficult for people to open their eyes. The gale blew up the crushed stones on the ground, and directly surrounded Qin Ernyang and the Golden Spear. The old Taoist priestess and the strong man had just arrived at the periphery of the gale, and they were directly blown away by the gale. The old Taoist priestess fell to the ground and began to vomit blood. The 10,000 Mountains man mainly cultivated the body, and his body was like an iron wall, but he was also injured quite badly. There were actually a few wounds on his body, and blood flowed continuously. The gale continued, and most of the warriors squinted their eyes, not daring to open them. A formless pressure made everyone's heart feel heavy, as if there was a thundercloud hanging over their heads. Qin Feng also forced his eyes open, but as soon as he opened his eyes, the flying sand and stones rubbed against him uncomfortably. Moreover, the entire hall was covered in sand, and there was a dusky atmosphere. Visibility was already less than half a meter, and it was even worse than the smog in the capital. Who is it? Watch my sword! When Yiming's angry shout came from the sand, and just as his voice rang out, a muffled sound followed. When Yiming didn't even have time to swing his sword, and he had already crashed into the hard rock wall, and 2 of his ribs were broken. Standing in the hall, it felt like they had arrived at a desert no man's land. Sand and stones filled the sky, and the air was filled with a cold aura of death. Everyone held their inner chi and didn't dare to move carelessly. That powerful and oppressive aura made people's hearts tremble. It was as if a giant dragon was hanging in the air, looking down on the earth. Boss is here!" Chun Ernyang's surprised shout came out, but the surrounding space seemed to be spinning, and everyone had already lost their sense of direction. They couldn't even determine Chun Ernyang's position. "Chun Ernyang, is this boss? This is great, we're going to be awesome!" The Golden Spear also shouted, and his voice couldn't suppress his excitement. No one knew who the boss that the Golden Spear and Chun Ernyang were talking about was, because they couldn't even see where they were going. There was indeed an extra person in the hall, because his aura was everywhere, and that aura was very oppressive. It was as if he could casually wave his hand and cause the entire hall to change. In a while, hand over all the treasures and save your lives. Qin Feng and the others were gathered together, and suddenly, White Cloud's voice rang in their ears. Everyone looked at White Cloud. This person's strength was unfathomable, but he didn't even need to do anything. He directly advised everyone to give up resisting. This time, Hua Yin and Rin Xiao Yao were completely in despair. Rumble! There was another loud noise, and the ground under their feet shook violently. At this time, a new group of explorers was sent up from below. As soon as they arrived, they were completely dumbfounded. Why did it feel so oppressive and terrifying up there? The violent wind dispersed, and the flying sand and stones also fell to the ground. The hall returned to its original calm, as if nothing had happened. Everyone hurriedly opened their eyes and saw 3 people standing in the middle of the hall. Chun Ernyang and the Golden Spear stood behind them, and in front of them was a man in a black robe. The man wore a black hat, and his entire body was covered. No one could see his appearance clearly. "Little pig, buy a talisman of clairvoyance." Qin Feng directly bought a talisman of clairvoyance without hesitation. He silently chanted an incantation in his heart, and the effect of the talisman of clairvoyance was activated. The rock wall in front of Qin Feng became an empty frame, and the structure of the hall was clearly grasped by him. Qin Feng hurriedly looked at the man in the black robe. His face was pitch black, and even the talisman of clairvoyance couldn't see through it. "Little pig, what's going on?" Qin Feng was shocked. This was the first time that the talisman of clairvoyance couldn't see through something. "Master, the man's face has an inner chi barrier. The level of the talisman of clairvoyance you bought is too low, so you can't see through it," Little Pig explained. "Then is there a talisman of clairvoyance in the system that can see through the man's appearance?" Qin Feng was extremely curious about the man in the black robe in front of him. He had to see through the man's appearance. "Master, you can buy an advanced talisman of clairvoyance." Qin Feng looked at the advanced talisman of clairvoyance. It cost 2,000 hedonist points. Spending 2,000 hedonist points just to see the man's appearance was a bit extravagant. However, Qin Feng didn't hesitate and directly bought an advanced talisman of clairvoyance. The talisman of clairvoyance took effect, and Qin Feng looked at the man's face again. It was an old and dignified face. His eyebrows were joined together in a single line, and he had a head of gray hair. His eyes, which were mostly covered by eyelids, shone with a cold and sharp light. Qin Feng couldn't tell the man's age. He felt very old, but he also seemed to have unlimited energy. His age was only due to his body's metabolism. However, his aura was like a vast ocean, full of vitality. "Who is he?" Qin Feng saw the man's face, but he didn't recognize him. At this time, many people came back to their senses. A few martial artists who were new and didn't understand the situation saw the 3 people in the black robe in the hall and started shouting, "Motherfucker, you scared me to death. Was it you 3 who were playing tricks? Are you crazy?" Pow! Just as the man who shouted finished speaking, A long, white shadow flashed by. The man was suddenly dumbfounded, and his eyes were filled with disbelief. He didn't even have time to scream before his head exploded, leaving only his body in a pool of blood. Roar! Many people screamed in fear. There were a few female martial artists in the crowd, and they were so scared that they fell on their butts. The atmosphere suddenly fell silent. Chen Er-Nyang, who was waving her whip just now, took a step forward and bowed respectfully to the man in the black robe. She said, "Thank you, boss, for saving us." The man in the black robe didn't say anything. He nodded slightly. Chen Er-Nyang immediately got up and retreated behind the man in the black robe. The man with the golden spear didn't know the identity of the man in the black robe, but he could feel the strong aura from the man in the black robe. It was so oppressive that he couldn't breathe. The golden spear stared at Qin Feng and the others in front of him with a gloating look on his face. He started to feel lucky that he had followed the right person, Chen Er-Nyang. Not only could he hug this woman, but he also had such a strong backing. It was really great. Boss, I am Zhang Dashan, an inner disciple of the Kunlun sect. I hope that you can give me more pointers in the future. The golden spear directly revealed his true identity. He wanted to curry favor with the man in the black robe. The man in the black robe didn't even look at Zhang Dashan. Instead, he raised his head and looked at Qin Feng and the others. He didn't wear a mask under his black hat, but the darkness made it hard for people to see clearly. When the light fell on his face, it was as if it was swallowed up by the endless darkness, and there was no reflection at all. You are all here to explore the ruins. I won't kill anyone, but all the treasures must be left behind. The man in the black robe said. His voice was like metal scraping against each other, and it made people tremble. The atmosphere became even more oppressive. No one wanted to take out their treasures. These treasures were found with great difficulty. Many people had lost their lives here for the sake of this expedition. Those who could stand here now had experienced the line between life and death before they escaped. How could they just hand over their treasures? Wouldn't that be a waste? No one was willing to hand over their treasures, and no one dared to stand up and resist. Chapter 676. Motherfucker, you bunch of ants. Can't you hear what my boss said? Hurry up and take out all your treasures, or I'll kill you all. With Black Robe's appearance, Zhang Dashan was suddenly full of confidence. His insufferably arrogant demeanor made many people clench their fists in anger. Hey, how dare you glare at me? You're not convinced. I'm talking to you, four-eyed guy. It's you, get the fuck out here right now. Zhang Dashan pointed at a bespectacled man at the outermost edge of the crowd and roared. The man was only a Stage 5 enrich expert. Although he was fuming, he didn't dare to make a sound. I'm willing to hand over the treasures. Four-eyed guy finally gave up resisting. He took out the treasures he had hidden on his body and walked toward Zhang Dashan. Zhang Dashan, however, was not pleased. He raised his nose and shouted, "Do you really not understand human language? I told you to get the fuck out here. Do you know what fuck off means?" As a show-off, it was rare for Zhang Dashan to find such a good opportunity to show off. He was so excited that he was about to die. Zhang Dashan had just announced his name. Most of the people present were martial artists from the outside world. Zhang Dashan wanted to borrow the Black Robe boss's power to intimidate others. He felt that at this moment, he must be extremely handsome. Four-eyed boy was so angry that his neck turned red. Chen Er-Nyang stood silently behind Black Robe. Black Robe's face was dark and without light, so no one could see his expression clearly. However, Qin Feng could see that Black Robe's ancient and dignified face had already darkened. You don't go too far. I'm already willing to hand over the treasures. What else do you want? Four-eyed guy glared at Zhang Dashan angrily. He didn't dare to say anything too harsh, nor did he want to roll on the ground in public. But Zhang Dashan didn't relent. He was determined to put on a good show today. He stomped his foot, leaving a deep footprint in the ground. The ground trembled slightly. Go too far? So what if I'm bullying you? You're not happy? Come and hit me? Don't dawdle like a girl. Get the fuck out here. Zhang Dashan's arrogance was a little over the top. The warriors gathered around the small round table all had cold looks on their faces. If Qin Fan hadn't held Hua Yin down with one hand and Li Tao with the other, the two of them would have rushed up to defend him. Green Wolf, I can't stand it anymore. Let's attack together. Do you think we can't beat the three of them? Hua Yin whispered into Qin Feng's ear. Li Tao was so angry that his whole body was sweating. He clenched his fists so hard that cracking sounds could be heard. Senior White Cloud, are you really not going to do anything? Are you willing to hand over the treasure you've worked so hard to find? Instead of answering Hua Yan's question, Qin Feng asked White Cloud. White Cloud's expression kept changing under the white mask. In the end, it shook its head and didn't speak. Obviously, it didn't want to take action. Bang! A loud sound rang out. It was the sound of Four-Eyed Boy rolling to Zhang Dashan's feet. Zhang Dashan had sent Four-Eyed Boy flying with a kick. Four-Eyed's body slammed into the rock wall, and he fell to the ground, coughing out mouthful after mouthful of blood. He was on the verge of puking out all his internal organs. Big Brother Wang, are you all right? As soon as Four-Eyed Boy fell to the ground, a beautiful woman with long, flowing hair came to his side. Seeing that Four-Eyed Boy was seriously injured, tears welled up in the woman's eyes. She turned around and slapped Zhang Dashan with her palm. You're too unreasonable. I'm going to kill you. Ting Ting, come back quickly. Don't be silly. Four-Eyed Boy was so anxious that the veins on his forehead were bulging. He forced himself to hold the woman back, but his injuries were too severe. He didn't even have the strength to stand up. Four-Eyed Boy's shout was a step too late. The woman had already rushed to Zhang Dashan. Zhang Dashan dodged her easily and pulled the beauty into his arms. Look at how pretty this girl is. Beauty, since you've taken the initiative to throw yourself into my arms, I won't hold back. Zhang Dashan was a lecherous man. He didn't bother to hide the evil in his heart. His large hands started groping the beauty's body. The woman named Ting Ting was so scared that her face turned pale. She and Four-Eyed Boy were a couple who were passionately in love. When Zhang Dashan had forced Four-Eyed Boy to roll over, Ting Ting had wanted to make a move a few times, but Four-Eyed Boy had stopped her. Now that he saw his lover being violated by Zhang Dashan, Four-Eyed Boy roared like a crazed beast. His nails dug deep into his flesh, and he didn't care even as blood gushed out. You bastard! Let go of Ting Ting. I'm going to tear you to pieces. Zhang Dashan ignored Four-Eyed Boy's roars. Instead, his interest was piqued by Four-Eyed Boy's rage. After he was done groping Ting Ting, he started tearing her clothes. By the time he was done, most of Ting Ting's shoulders and legs were already exposed. The warriors all closed their eyes or turned their heads away. They didn't peek at Ting Ting's body. Everyone was so angry that their expressions were grave. They wanted nothing more than to kill this bastard, Zhang Dashan. Ah, you bastard, I'll kill you. Hua Yin couldn't stand it anymore. With a roar, she was ready to fight. Qin Feng was one step ahead of her. He pressed Hua Yin to the ground and leaped into the air. Yin Yin, stay here. I'll teach this bastard a lesson for you. Since Qin Feng was going to make a move, he didn't waste any more words. With a wave of his hand, several wind blades whizzed past, shooting directly at Zhang Dashan, who was enjoying himself. Zhang Dashan dodged in time, but a few wind blades still managed to cut the skin on his arm. Blood gushed out instantly, staining half of his clothes red. It's you! Zhang Dashan slapped Ting Ting away. Clearly, he wasn't in the mood to play with women anymore. He glared coldly at Qin Feng. He had already recognized Qin Feng. That's right, it's your grandfather. Qin Feng landed on the ground with his hands behind his back. His hair and clothes fluttered even though there was no wind, leaving everyone with a straight and righteous back. The warriors cheered in their hearts. Qin Feng had done what they wanted to do, but didn't dare to do. Stinking brat, you've been giving me a hard time. I thought you fell to your death. It's good that you didn't. I'm going to cut you into pieces and feed your corpse to the dogs. Huh? Zhang Dashan was like a madman, laughing maniacally. Halfway through his laughter, His expression suddenly turned cold, and he quickly swatted at Qin Feng. "You're asking for it?" Qin Feng didn't back down. He punched out. The special Thunder Tiger fist's momentum was turbulent, like a ferocious tiger descending the mountain. The wind of the fist carried a tiger's roar as it rushed out, and with one punch, Zhang Dashan was sent flying. Bang! A loud sound rang out, and Zhang Dashan fell to the ground. His clothes were shattered, and his hair was a mess in front of his face. Blood sprayed out from his body and stuck to his hair. He looked as pathetic as a beggar. With just one punch, Qin Feng had broken Zhang Dashan's momentum. It was also this punch that shocked the warriors present. Cough, cough, cough. Zhang Dashan coughed violently and stood up with great difficulty. His triangular eyes were filled with disbelief. He had fought with Qin Feng before, and he knew that Qin Feng was strong, but he didn't expect him to be this strong. They were both Stage 7 Inner Chi martial artists, so why was he defeated with just one punch? You dare to attack me? Zhang Dashan hadn't recovered from Qin Feng's momentum, and his voice was trembling. Are you an idiot? I've already beaten you to the point of vomiting blood, and you still ask such a question? Qin Feng said calmly. At this time, new warriors were teleported up from the underground cave. They had already learned about the current situation from others. These Jianghu warriors stared at Qin Feng in shock. They admired Qin Feng very much. They had long disliked Zhang Dashan, but they didn't dare to voice their anger. Hua Yan's beautiful eyes sparkled. She felt that Qin Feng was too handsome at this moment. She wanted to pounce on him and serve him. Bai Yun and Rin Xiaoyao were also shocked. They didn't expect Green Wolf to attack. When Yiming and the Immerse sect Taoist nun were injured and lying on the ground in front of them, they were very grateful that Green Wolf had avenged them. Everyone's expression and thoughts were different, but Qin Feng didn't care. He had been secretly observing the black-robed man's facial expression. This man was Qin Feng's biggest threat. Zhang Dashan knew that he was no match for Qin Feng, so he begged the black-robed man for help. "Boss, this person came to explore with us. He fell into the crater a long time ago. He must have a lot of treasures on him. Boss, quickly take him down." The black-robed man didn't speak. He didn't even look at Zhang Dashan. He raised his dark face slightly and looked at Qin Feng. Qin Feng saw the black-robed man's expression. There was a trace of surprise, but more of anger and coldness. "Boss, why aren't you saying anything? Hurry up and make your move. This kid is the most arrogant. If we don't subdue him, I'm afraid the others will stand up and fight back. When that happens, we can't suppress this group of wretched wretches anymore." Seeing that the black-robed man didn't speak, Zhang Dashan continued to yell. Halfway through, Zhang Dashan's voice suddenly stopped. The air seemed to freeze at this moment. The entire hall fell into a dead silence. Only the sound of everyone's wildly beating hearts could be heard. Pucci! The black-robed man's palm had pierced into Zhang Dashan's heart. It entered through his chest and came out from his back. The hand was old and skinny. It was covered in blood and some dark red flesh. There were also some remnants of a heart. It was filled with the scent of death, and everyone felt a chill run down their spine. "You talk too much. I'm sick of it." The black-robed man's voice sounded like two pieces of metal rubbing against each other. As soon as he finished speaking, he withdrew his hand from Zhang Dashan's chest. Zhang Dashan was long dead. His eyes were wide open, and his burly body fell to the ground, scattering a cloud of dust. Bang! His body fell to the ground, and a loud sound spread out. It was like a muffled thunder that struck everyone's hearts. Before this, these people thought that Zhang Dashan's methods were too cruel. But now, compared to the black-robed man, his methods paled in comparison. Qin Feng's body tensed up because he saw the black-robed man's cold, piercing eyes staring at him from head to toe. An invisible pressure enveloped Qin Feng. Qin Feng had felt this pressure not long ago. It was when he fought Purple Dragon Su Xiaodian at the Soaring Cloud Mansion. And at this moment, the pressure that the black-robed man gave Qin Feng was even stronger than the Purple Dragon. "Why did you attack? Are you trying to defy my orders?" The black-robed man spoke again, obviously questioning Qin Fun. Qin Fun tried his best to calm himself down. He looked at the black-robed man and said, "I don't like him. I want to teach him a lesson." Among everyone present, Qin Fun was probably the only one who dared to speak to the black-robed man. Even White Cloud couldn't force out a word. The black-robed man was silent for a moment, then continued, "Leave all the treasures on you and get lost." There was a ripple in the black-robed man's voice. He was obviously angered. Qin Fun was still angry. When he heard the word, "get lost," he was very unhappy. "Master, Wanmei Villa's Shimen Chue Shui requests to fight." "Master, White Camel Villa's Villa Master Ouyang Feng requests to fight." Shimen Chue Shui and Ouyang Feng's voices rang out in Qin Fun's mind. The two champions had long disliked the black-robed man. They wanted nothing more than to jump out of the system. How dare he threaten Master? How dare he act tough in front of Master? "See if I don't beat the shit out of you." Qin Fun also wanted to release the hero and use his ultimate move, but he was now Green Wolf. Whether it was Shimen Chue Shui or Ouyang Feng, it wouldn't make sense. These two had already made a name for themselves in the martial arts world. They were even more famous than Qin Fun. "Master, you can activate the Justice Halo emblem," Little Pig suddenly reminded. Chapter 677. Activate. Without hesitation, Qin Feng activated the halo of Justice Metal. Bang! Suddenly, a loud sound came from Qin Feng's body. It was as if something inside Qin Feng's body had exploded. The warriors were all shocked. They wondered if this person's lungs had exploded because of Black Robe's anger. After the loud noise, Qin Feng's aura changed, shocking even himself. Qin Feng stood in the center of the circular hall with his hands behind his back. He and Black Robe formed a sharp contrast. Black Robe was like darkness, absorbing all light. Qin Feng was like light, shrouded in a milky white halo, like a god descending to the mortal world. This milky white halo was the aura of justice, released after the halo of Justice Metal was activated. This aura was unfamiliar, but Qin Feng was instantly immersed in it. Huayan was dumbfounded. When Yiming and the old Taoist nun were so shocked that their jaws dropped to the ground. Bai Yun's old eyes were filled with shock. The other martial artist's eyes fell to the ground. Even the black-robed man's sharp eyes flashed with shock, and even a trace of fear. What aura was this? This was obviously an existence that transcended inner chi. "You want to make me leave? You're not worthy." Qin Feng's voice was loud, like the ringing of a large bell, spreading out with a majestic and sacred aura. The aura of justice enveloped the entire circular hall, suppressing the powerful aura of the black-robed man. Qin Fun's aura was even more powerful, yet gentle. The martial artists felt as if they were sunbathing in the winter or like the refreshing spring breeze after the rain. Qin Feng said Black Robe was not worthy, full of confidence. Everyone even had an illusion that Black Robe was not worthy. The one who should leave was Black Robe. Tom seemed to have stopped. The black-robed man was stunned for a long time and did not make a sound. Chun Nyang, who was standing behind him, was already scared out of her wits. Even if she was beaten to death, she would never have thought that there would be such a master in the group that she had teamed up with. Qin Feng's aura of justice was too unfamiliar. Could it be the legendary True Cultivation aura? "Who are you? You've broken through to the True Chi stage?" After a long time, Black Robe's voice slowly sounded. It was not as cold and powerful as before, but had become gentle. "Who I am isn't important. What's important is that I want you to scram." Qin Feng's face was calm and collected as if he was talking about something very normal. The black-robed man's expression was extremely cold and gloomy. His hands, which were hidden in his robes, were clenched into fists as if he was ready to attack at any moment. Qin Feng clenched his fists and prepared to attack at any moment. He suddenly had the aura of a cultivator, so he was extremely excited. Qin Feng couldn't wait to use Black Robe to practice. Black Robe was a Stage 9 inner chi expert, and Qin Feng had never beaten a Stage 9 inner chi expert before. Today his wish was fulfilled. Before Qin Feng could make a move, Little Pig's voice suddenly sounded in his mind. Master, you can't defeat Black Robe. The aura that Qin Feng had built up with great difficulty was almost broken. He hurriedly asked, why can't I beat them? I felt that I had become extremely strong. Wasn't the righteous chi equivalent to the effect of true chi? You can't even defeat a Stage 9 inner chi martial artist? Qin Feng was frightened by Little Pig's words. If a true chi expert couldn't defeat Black Robe, then Black Robe's strength was truly beyond Qin Feng's expectations. Master, you may have misunderstood the true effect of the righteous halo emblem. The righteous chi only allowed Master to have the aura of a cultivator, but it didn't increase Master's strength to the true chi stage. To put it bluntly, Master is just a facade, but inside, you still have your original strength. Little Pig quickly explained. He was afraid that Qin Feng would act recklessly and attack. Qin Feng immediately felt unwell. This system was as deceptive as always. You want me to scram? Are you sure? In the end, Black Robe didn't directly attack. His voice was filled with anger. It seemed that the righteous chi emitted from Qin Feng's body had truly frightened him. Qin Feng was full of confidence earlier, but now he was completely shaken. This righteous halo emblem was truly too deceptive. It was equivalent to putting a wolf's skin on a little sheep. If Black Robe found out, wouldn't Qin Feng be tortured to death? Ahem. Qin Feng coughed dryly and tried his best to appear calm and composed. He said unhurriedly, Hey, Bai Yun, come out here. This guy's strength is too weak. I don't want to leave a bad reputation as a bully, so I won't make a move. Help me teach him a lesson, so he'll remember it. As soon as Qin Feng finished speaking, White Cloud's old face, which was hidden under the white mask, almost became crooked. His complexion was as black as the bottom of a pot. White Cloud had already planned to make a move. He had long sensed Black Robe's aura. Black Robe's strength was unfathomable. He was definitely above Stage 9 inner chi. White Cloud admitted that he was no match for Black Robe, so he simply swallowed his anger. In the end, Green Wolf pretended to be a pig to eat a tiger. His body's dense true chi was comparable to that of a true chi stage expert. This time, White Cloud was truly in a dilemma. White Cloud, are you not willing to come out? When Qin Feng saw that White Cloud still didn't come out, he was so anxious that he wanted to kick this old man to death. Qin Feng suddenly unleashed his true chi. Dense true chi rolled out from his body and shot out in all directions. The martial artists below Stage 6 inner chi were so scared that they directly knelt down. White Cloud was also unable to resist the demonstration of a true chi expert. His pair of old legs actually began to tremble uncontrollably. Black Robe's body was also trembling uncontrollably, but he was very good at hiding it. Bang! White Cloud suddenly unleashed his true chi. His true chi spewed out from his body and spread out. He leaped lightly and turned into a white shadow that stood beside Qin Feng. The surrounding people cried out in surprise again. This inconspicuous old man who stood in the middle of them was actually a Stage 8 inner chi expert. You want us to leave the treasure behind? You must be daydreaming. Since White Cloud had already stood out, he didn't back down. His true chi surged unceasingly as if he was demonstrating his strength to Black Robe. Black Robe simply glanced at White Cloud before his gaze fell back on Qin Feng. White Cloud was only a martial artist at the peak of Stage 8 inner chi. In the eyes of others, he was very powerful, but in Black Robe's eyes, he was nothing. What Black Robe was truly afraid of was Qin Feng's surging true chi. White Cloud, you old fart, how dare you go against boss's orders? The battle in front of them was obviously not something Chen Nyang could participate in, but she still braced herself and stood out. It wasn't that Chen Nyang was very loyal to Black Robe, but she had followed Black Robe for a long time and knew how ruthless he was. Zhang Dashan, who had his heart dug out not long ago, was the best example. Not only will I resist, but I believe that all the martial artists behind me will also stand up and resist. If you don't stand up now, when will you? Do you really want to give away the treasure that you exchanged your life for with your own hands? White Cloud was still somewhat afraid of Black Robe. He had no choice but to stand up. White Cloud didn't want to really fight with Black Robe. If that happened, he would definitely die. White Cloud began to rope in other martial artists to join him. As long as everyone resisted together, with the help of Green Wolf, a true Chi stage expert, the other party would definitely be afraid. Green Wolf, I'll help you. Hua Yin, who had long been restless, was the first to jump out. We're here too. The amazed sex old Taoist nun, when Yiming and Li Tao formed the second group and leaped behind Qin Feng. Benefactor, I'll help you too. The little beauty, Ting Ting, who was almost molested by Zhang Dashan not long ago, also joined the team. Her boyfriend, Four-Eye Guy, also wanted to join, but he was too seriously injured and was recuperating at the side. Everyone, stand up, or you won't have a chance. Rin Xiao Yao also came and encouraged the others to stand up. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Figures constantly flashed by, and the team behind Qin Feng grew larger and larger. At first, he was alone, but now there were more than 30 people. Black Robe Monster, you want to steal our treasure? You're fucking looking for death. Do you really think we're easy to bully? I didn't lower myself to your level earlier, but do you have the guts to talk back? I'll smash your balls with my hammer. Everyone, let's work together and get Black Robe and that evil woman. All the martial artists stood behind Qin Feng. These people's strength varied, but when it came to scolding and fighting, each one was more vicious than the other. They couldn't see Black Robe's expression, but Qin Feng could clearly see his wrinkled face. If he were to act in a horror film now, he would definitely act as himself. You bunch of ants, you're courting death. Rumble! A loud explosion erupted in the hall. It was Black Robe's inner chi that exploded in anger. As soon as the inner chi was released, everyone was so scared that they didn't dare to speak. Black Robe's strength was also revealed. He was at the peak of Stage 9 inner chi. Thump! There were many martial artists below Stage 6 inner chi in the crowd. Under the pressure of Black Robe's violent chi, these people directly knelt on the ground. The martial artists with lower levels even started to feel dizzy and vomited blood. These martial artists were at least Stage 3 inner chi. If they were in a big city, each of them would be considered an expert. However, in front of a Stage 9 inner chi expert, a single burst of chi could injure them. Black Robe only released his chi, but he didn't make a move. His face, which was hidden under the black hat, was ashen. In China, his status was high and mighty, and he was revered by everyone. His fame was unparalleled. Black Robe was furious that a group of nameless nobodies like him questioned and cursed him. He wanted to skin everyone alive, but because Qin Feng was standing there, Black Robe didn't dare to make a move. Rumble! Before Black Robe's chi could completely subside, another loud explosion resounded in the hall. This time, it was Qin Feng who released his righteous chi. The ground in the hall shook and the mountain swayed. Rocks and rubble tumbled down from the walls. After Qin Feng activated the halo of Justice Metal, he could release an endless amount of righteous chi for an hour. If Black Robe wanted to compete with him in terms of chi, Qin Feng would die of laughter. Rumble! Before the first explosion subsided, another one came. Black Robe could only release his chi once. When Qin Feng released his chi, it was like a torrential river that surged endlessly. The deafening chi continued to resound. Waves of vigorous, true chi blotted out the sky and covered the earth. In an instant, it engulfed Black Robe's inner chi. In front of Qin Feng's righteous chi, Black Robe's inner chi was like an ant that had encountered an elephant. What's the meaning of this? You want to compete with me in chi explosion? You're not young anymore. Why are you so childish? Qin Feng released his chi and taunted. Black Robe was so angry that he broke through. His vigorous inner chi dissipated, and he almost fainted from Qin Feng's anger. Ha! We have Hero Green Wolf support. What's there to be afraid of? That's right. Hero Green Wolf is a true chi expert. That black robe monster only dares to fart. He doesn't dare to use his true strength. Long live Hero Green Wolf. Defeat the black robe monster. Qin Feng's strength brought the martial artists back to their senses. They were frightened by Black Robe earlier, and now they began to brag again. Black Robe's expression became colder and colder. He almost swallowed his teeth. Chapter 678. If Qin Feng didn't make a move, Black Robe wouldn't either. If Black Robe didn't make a move, the cowardly martial artists wouldn't make a move either. The scene was extremely comical and bizarre. Qin Feng and Black Robe stared at each other. The martial artists with slightly higher realms also shut their mouths and kept quiet. On the other hand, the group of martial artists below Stage 6 Inner Chi acted like newborn calves that were not afraid of tigers. They yelled at the top of their lungs to provoke Black Robe. Qin Feng didn't know how much longer Black Robe could endure, but he couldn't endure it any longer. Rumble! Black Robe's body exploded with dense inner chi again, causing the martial artists to quieten down. Without waiting for Qin Feng to explode, Black Robe hurriedly said, "I came to this ancient martial ruin to look for a secret cultivation method. If you're obedient, then take out all your treasures and let me check them. If you don't have the cultivation method that I need, then I won't take any of your treasures and will let you leave immediately. Of course, if this doesn't work, then we can only fight to the death. I might really be killed by you, but I'm also confident that I can kill the rest of you." Black Robe had no choice but to take a step back under Qin Feng's authority. As one of the strongest martial artists in China, he never thought that he would have to compromise one day. Black Robe felt very sullen, but he was also very helpless. Everyone was shaken quite badly by Black Robe's violent aura. For a while, they couldn't even speak. When Qin Feng saw Black Robe take a step back, he slightly relaxed. If this battle really did happen, then Qin Feng would be in trouble. "Little pig, how many hedonist points does it cost to exchange for Black Robe's information?" Qin Feng became more and more curious about Black Robe's identity. Although there were many ancient martial artists in China, how many of them were at the peak of Stage 9 Inner Chi? "Master, it costs 5,000 hedonist points," Little Pig said. Qin Feng hesitated for a moment, but he still gritted his teeth and bought Black Robe's information. Suddenly, a huge wave of information flowed into Qin Feng's mind, stunning him. The Black Robe man's real name was Feng Qingyu, one of the 9 dragons of Huaxia, the Green Dragon. He was a Stage 9 Inner Chi expert. Azure Dragon, Feng Qingyu, had secretly arranged for Chen Ernyang to join the exploration team formed by White Cloud. According to the information obtained by Feng Qingyu, this Grade 3 ancient martial relic was most likely the place where Lan Mo, the madman of the demon race, cultivated in seclusion 100 years ago. Because Lan Mo had cultivated the Little Chrysanthemum Codex, his strength had skyrocketed, and he became the demon lord of the demon race. Azure Dragon had been eyeing this peerless codex for a long time, so this time, he had Chen Ernyang sneak in secretly. Chen Ernyang pretended to be an explorer and joined White Cloud's exploration team. She then found out the location of the ancient warrior ruins. Chen Ernyang secretly sent the information to Azure Dragon, and Azure Dragon spread the news, attracting a large number of martial artists. The Azure Dragon sent these people to search for treasures, while he ordered Chen Ernyang to guard the exit and rob the treasures. This plan was airtight, and Azure Dragon would reap the benefits of the third party. However, Azure Dragon did not expect to meet Green Wolf along the way, which caused his plan to deviate slightly. Qin Feng spent 5,000 hedonist points to purchase information on the Azure Dragon's identity and the conspiracy behind this expedition to the ancient martial ruins. Qin Feng was still in shock and hadn't come back to his senses. Qin Feng admired this sinister scheme. Ding! The hedonist sovereign system has issued a mission. Defeat China's Azure Dragon, Feng Qingyu, with your own strength. Mission time limit: 3 months. If the mission is completed successfully, The system will reward host Qin Feng with 50,000 hedonist points and access to the system's divine skill interface for free. If the mission is failed, 100,000 hedonist points will be deducted, and an existing system interface will be randomly sealed. Ha! What kind of bullshit are you talking about, you idiot? Who do you think you are? If you know what's good for you, you'd better get the hell out of here. Otherwise, I won't go easy on you. Suddenly, a stage 4 inner chi cultivator jumped out from the crowd. He held a pair of battle axes in his hands and glared at Black Robe fiercely. He knew he was no match for Black Robe, but he had the support of Hero Green Wolf, so he wasn't afraid at all. Qin Feng didn't know Black Robe's identity before, but now that he knew Black Robe was Azure Dragon, Qin Feng's mouth twitched violently when he saw a stage for inner chi cultivator clamoring in front of Azure Dragon. All right, I agree with your proposal. You can search everyone's treasures, Qin Feng said abruptly before Black Robe could react. Whoosh! The crowd was in an uproar. Everyone looked at Qin Feng with different expressions. No one expected Green Wolf to be the first one to compromise with Black Robe. The stage for inner chi cultivator was so shocked that his eyeballs almost popped out of their sockets. He reacted quickly and threw away the axes in his hands and took off his clothes. Brother Black Robe, I was just playing with you. You want to search the treasures, right? Go ahead. I didn't find any martial arts or secret manuals. Black Robe changed his attitude faster than flipping a page of a book. Azure Dragon was furious. If Black Robe was one step slower, his heart would have been dug out by Azure Dragon. What are you doing? You don't have to take off your underwear. Black Robe's angry voice came when Black Robe was halfway through taking off his underwear. Black Robe hastily pulled his underwear back down. I'm just worried that you won't be able to take it off. I won't take it off if you don't want to. I won't hold you responsible anyway. Azure Dragon was so angry that he was about to vomit blood. He swallowed his words before he could utter a word. Black Robe quickly regained his composure. He said to Chen Nyang indifferently, "Go and search these people." "Yes, boss." Chen Nyang's figure flashed and appeared beside the crowd. She searched through Black Robe's clothes and carefully checked the treasures hidden by him. She said coldly, "You don't have any secret manuals. You can leave now." Black Robe hastily put on his clothes and ran out of the cavern hall. When the others saw that Black Robe had let go, they quickly took out their treasures for Chen Nyang to check. Most of them didn't find any secret manuals, so they had nothing to worry about. Chen Nyang began to check everyone one by one. Qin Feng and Azure Dragon still stood in the same place and looked at each other. Azure Dragon had already withdrawn his inner chi. It had been more than half an hour since he entered the arena. Even though Azure Dragon was an expert at the peak of Stage 9 inner chi, it was still a little difficult for him to endure being in the state of chi fury for half an hour. Azure Dragon was shocked when he saw the milky white true chi still rolling around Qin Feng's body. Is this the power of a true chi expert? Did this true chi not cost anything? Everyone lined up in an orderly manner and waited for Chen Nyang to check them. Not long after, half of the martial artists finished their checks and ran out. None of these warriors had found the secret manual they were looking for. Azure Dragon's old face, hidden under his black hat, became increasingly cold. A hint of anxiety flashed across his old eyes, which were mostly covered by his eyelids. The moment Azure Dragon's identity was exposed, Qin Feng dispelled the idea of fighting him. Qin Feng couldn't defeat Azure Dragon with his own strength. If they really had to fight, he could only summon Shimen Shui Shui and Ouyang Feng. Azure Dragon was an expert at the peak of Stage 9 inner chi. Shimen Shui Shui would be affected by the Earth's magnetic field once he came out, so he wasn't a match for Azure Dragon. Could Ouyang Feng defeat Azure Dragon? Qin Feng wasn't sure. Even if Ouyang Feng really killed Azure Dragon, Qin Feng couldn't let him do so. Azure Dragon was one of the 9 dragons of China. If he really died, the dragon sect would definitely send people to investigate this matter. At that time, Qin Feng's identity would be exposed, and he would be hunted by the dragon sect all over the world. Therefore, Qin Feng readily agreed to let Azure Dragon search everyone's body. But before he agreed, Qin Feng thought of a way to trick Azure Dragon. Even if you are one of the 9 dragons of China, if you dare to bully me for no reason, I won't let you off easy. Little pig, copy me the 2nd volume of the Little Chrysanthemum Treasure Book. Change the 2nd volume to the 1st volume and copy the contents in reverse. Qin Feng communicated with Little Pig telepathically. Not long after, the system beeped and a brand new Little Chrysanthemum Treasure Book rose into the air. Ding! Congratulations, host Qin, for spending 500 Hedonist points to copy the counterfeit Little Chrysanthemum Treasure Book. Qin Feng flipped his palm behind him, and the counterfeit Little Chrysanthemum Treasure Book appeared in his hand. There weren't many martial artists left, so it was Qin Feng's turn to be searched. He followed the crowd and lined up. While the martial artist in front of him was unprepared, Qin Feng stuffed the counterfeit Little Chrysanthemum Treasure Book into his pocket. Azure Dragon's expression was as cold as still water. He saw that there were only a dozen or so martial artists left, but the Little Chrysanthemum Treasure Book still hadn't appeared. Boss, I found it. Quick, take a look. Is it this one? Suddenly, Chen Nyang's surprised voice sounded. Azure Dragon's eyes lit up, and he leaped to Chen Nyang's side. Azure Dragon snatched the secret book from Chen Nyang's hand and flipped through a few pages. It was his first time reading this secret book. Although he had never seen the Little Chrysanthemum Treasure Book before, the material of this secret book and the abstruse content told Azure Dragon that this was the real deal. Is this my secret book? What kind of secret book is this? Why don't I have any impression of it? I don't remember finding a secret book. To then, if you want it, you can have it. The martial artist who was found to have the secret book that Azure Dragon needed was so scared that his whole body trembled. His mind was in a daze. He clearly remembered that he didn't find the secret book. Very well. It's the right choice that you're willing to hand over the secret book. Now that I've found what I need, everyone can leave. Azure Dragon had painstakingly schemed in the ancient martial ruins for this Little Chrysanthemum Treasure Book. Now that he had the secret book in his hands, Azure Dragon planned to leave. Wait, did you find what you wanted? And now you want to leave so easily? Just when everyone heaved a sigh of relief, Qin Feng's voice suddenly rang out like a great bell, giving everyone a fright. Azure Dragon, who was walking halfway, stopped abruptly. He didn't dare to act blindly without thinking, because a dense wave of true qi had locked onto him. Azure Dragon was afraid that Azure Wolf would really attack. In everyone's eyes, Azure Dragon was like a demon from hell. This demon was willing to leave after finding what he wanted, but they didn't expect Hero Green Wolf to make him stay. Indeed, those with strength could be willful. What else do you want? Azure Dragon suppressed his anger and looked at Qin Feng. His voice was much gentler. Now that Azure Dragon had found what he needed, he didn't want to fight with Qin Feng. For the sake of fairness, you can take the secret book, but you must leave behind the other treasures you've found here. Qin Feng's voice was calm, but it carried an indisputable aura. Everyone was dumbfounded. Only Hero Green Wolf would dare to steal treasures from a demon from hell. Azure Dragon and Chen Nyang's body stiffened. They were also shocked by Qin Feng's words. When Qin Feng came up, he saw that the formation gate with the 3 formation eyes had been destroyed. Qin Feng's exploration team had expended a great deal of inner qi to almost destroy the formation gate. Later, it must have been destroyed by Chen Nyang and Zhang Dashan together. You're tuning into the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.